Inside Edge Net. Welcome to the main event right here on the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob Rozycki. We got Double A Anthony Alford. We got Eli Moon. We have 3 functioning microphones. How are we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? I had to go. I'm sorry for the late start time. I had to wolf down some Taco Bell before we started things out.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. Watch out for the lettuce. Yeah, just look out for that.
Yeah, man. So what is this whole thing? I heard, Kyle's promo and all this kind of stuff, and we got this, shit-inducing bacteria that's being introduced throughout the food supply right now. Is that pretty much it?
I'll break it down for you, and I did not get the diagram ready in time, so I apologize.
I know, because we didn't mention this at all in the 2 hours that we talked before the show started.
Yeah, I did not get this diagram ready. I apologize, but basically it breaks down like this: Rozycki, virus. Toilet breaks, lettuce from like little plus sign, like you remember when you like raise it the exponential number, whatever.
There you go.
Put that there, boom, raise that lettuce, Taco Bell exponential number. Bad. So that's why that's all I got for you. I don't have the true diagram breakdown, but yeah, apparently you can't eat Taco Bell lettuce. You can't eat lettuce from stores. You can't trust stores. You can't trust anything that is being consumed in our bodies. It's kind of crazy, man.
Well, and apparently now, because
this is happy fun talk here on the main event.
Yeah,
because I went shopping earlier today at one of my favorite grocery stores, Aldi's. Great place. A lot of affordable stuff there. The salad section was completely cleaned out at the location I went to for good reason. But it was like, well, here are the solutions to fresh produce and what you should do with fresh produce. Okay. And one of the solutions, clean your lettuce, clean your greens with bleach. Now, I don't know about you guys.
But the last time he was president, he wanted us to inject bleach. Now we want to clean our shit with what the? Okay.
I don't trust eating anything that includes bleach.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't know about you guys. That's just me.
I'm with you. My sister, and God bless her, because, she is very, very particular about, she's the mom. She got my niece and nephew, and she's very careful about what, the babies eat, what's going in. I mean, I go over there, and it's like, I haven't ate vegetables, I feel like sometimes in, a few days, and then I get my supply for like 2-3 weeks. So she's even been like, look, you have to be careful at this store over here and this. But luckily, she hasn't suggested whatever everybody else is suggesting about bleach and all this other nonsense. I just think we're in some crazy times, fellas. I'm glad. Look, man, it feels weird. I'm back in the saddle with you. I feel good. It's a Sunday night, and I feel good, man. I mean, I probably feel better than anybody that's had Taco Bell over the last couple of days, which is crazy, I'll say, because I had Taco Bell Wednesday or Tuesday, and knock on wood, I'm good.
I've had Taco Bell multiple times, more so than I like to admit, recently, and I've been fine. It's first of all, the whole report, we are all experienced Taco Bell eaters, consumers.
Yes.
I was going to say, this is the cost of doing business when you go south of the border.
Yeah, anything that happens between your body and and Taco Bell in the toilet was happening prior to last week. Okay.
I learned, I think I was 15 minutes into my broadcasting career until there was the don't eat Taco Bell before a shift. Because we all know. And yeah, unless you got 20 minutes window, no. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of immune from this because I hate shredded lettuce. Really hate shredded lettuce. Like, if I became president, I would try to attach a federal law to ban shredded lettuce. Actually, that's going to happen. Look it up, dude. There's no nutritional value to it whatsoever. It is a place filler. And when you put it on anything warm, it gets to be this brown, soft mush in about 3.5 seconds. I don't fucking need it. I don't want it. I don't ever so I haven't actually got a Taco Bell taco with lettuce on it probably in 10 years. So me and Al Michaels, Al Michaels hasn't had a vegetable, I think, since the Kennedy administration. We're fine right now.
Yeah, I mean, I used to swap it out for extra cheese, and Pops looked at me crazy. Pop Moon the one day when I was like, dude, no lettuce, extra cheese. He's like, what? I'm like, no lettuce, extra cheese. He's like, but why? I'm like, well, because maybe they won't charge me for the extra cheese if I just swap it out for the. And now, granted, they definitely charge me for it. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you can get creative, and that's back to Double A's point. I know we'll talk sports here in a moment. Back to Double A's point about this is, as he dips out, is that Taco
turn
Bell.
my fan off. My bad.
I was like, man, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for the conversation no more. But no, I mean, the Taco Bell thing is just so crazy. Where they went wrong, folks and fellas here, is where they started letting you customize everything. You could throw rice on it. You could throw beans. You could throw this in there. You could throw extra stuff in here. All this. Some things weren't meant to be comboed. Refried beans and other beans with, salsa verde sauce and Diablo.
I mean, it's basically rocket fuel. You can almost put it in the gas tank and it would run a car at that rate.
Who in the hell are you? Like, what are you thinking to put Diablo sauce, something that is called Diablo sauce, in your body? Like,
people are
and we're surprised the fucking shit demon has now invaded the American society and taken us down to our knees.
Eli, I will answer your question. There are people out there who are demons, and there are some who will do. I thought when I was like a teenager, like, oh, I'm taking it to the next level, getting fire sauce. Brother, I can't go past mild sauce.
Oh, I've never been that guy. I've never been that dude that likes the hot stuff. Like, when I was a teenager, me going big was, okay, I'll get a classic triple and a classic double. Like, it was quantity more so than heat. Like, give me 6,000 calories in a meal and I'll be fine. But yeah, I've never been that guy for hot, and like, I'm not doing hot ones anytime soon, or at least I'm not doing it well. Like, it's not going to work well for anybody involved.
Yeah.
And I know Conan O'Brien had a gag doctor on. I would probably have to have a real doctor with me.
Dude, I mean, my goodness gracious. Poor America, in Northeast Ohio specifically right now, because we are Cleveland's digital leader. With all this going on about eating and shitting and all this stuff, which is crazy we're talking about this.
God, I'm so immature. I'm sorry. I should have laughed when
you got me laughing. And then the air quality that, I mean, on a serious note, like Thursday and Friday was like, I mean, this is serious too. It's just like people are literally crazy. But the air quality, that's been a damper too. Obviously, I was on vacation last week, so Thursday and Friday I couldn't even step out of the house, man. And it was terrible out. The air quality was rough. So just a wild week, man. A wild weekend.
Yeah, and I know Guardians baseball was affected with it. They had to postpone their Friday game, do a doubleheader on Saturday. Pittsburgh, pretty much, it was kind of a replay of the old AFC Central Division here. Pittsburgh manhandled the shit out of Cleveland for a couple of games there. And yeah, I mean, obviously, it kind of affected everything going. I know the World Cup final was today. I know I was a little worried that maybe some of this shit would be around a little bit too long and, affect what was going on in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So, yeah, I mean, I think we've, lucked out that it was only just a couple of day problem. Hopefully everything is over with. I know we've had some rain the last couple of days that's supposed to help out this stuff eventually. So hopefully we're in the clear on that one. I know here locally it was a pristine day outside. But yes, back to sports. We do have a whole lot to talk about. We got Myles Garrett. He is no longer a Brown. Want to talk about this this Browns defense. The first time in a while they don't have a first ballot Hall of Famer on it. Who is going to be the leader on that thing? Who is the best player? It seems like it's kind of rudderless right now. We'll get into that. Obviously, too, we are playing our favorite game the last couple of weeks. Where in the fuck is LeBron James going? We're in day 22 of that. I think.
We're makeshifting the title. We've been working on the title. The title's we got a few different names for it. This is just what we got right now.
Right now, the longer it goes, the more expletives will be in the title. I'll guarantee you that. We'll get into obviously LeBron and where he's going to be playing, and I know he was talking at Fanatics Fest. We'll hit all that up too. And then, yes, we do have the World Cup final to worry about. We had it just transpire, about, as I'm looking at it right now, about 5 hours ago. We had Spain overtake Argentina 1-0, as they say in that sport, to win the World Cup in overtime. There was a brawl after the game. Justin Bieber performed at halftime. The president got booed to shitting back at the end of the game. We laughed, we cried. Seemed like it was a pretty compelling final, even with the 1-0 score. The World Cup definitely did end on a pretty memorable note.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and there was a lot of cool stuff, guys, when it comes to this World Cup. Now, I'll be honest, I watched soccer growing up a little bit. My sister played soccer, but as far as like following it, I did it here and there. Covered a few events and would get hip enough just to know at least what I'm seeing a little bit here. But as far as like watching soccer, extensively watching soccer, these last, few weeks, 3-4 weeks, whatever, have been a lot of fun, man. And I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched every single game and I've caught every single match and every single minute. I understand I haven't. But I've found a few things interesting. And I don't know if you guys have found this as well, but I found a few things interesting. For starters, soccer definitely has a villain. You talk about it in sports, you need a hero, you need a villain. You got your LeBron James, you got your Kevin Durant. Well, yeah, I was gonna say you got your LeBron James depending on the year, but no,
depending on who you ask.
But for a run, LeBron and Kevin Durant or LeBron and Steph Curry, depending on who you ask, whatever. You always had your hero and your villain. Soccer has a villain, and if they want to really, really make this more of a marketable thing, and I know it is in Europe and whatnot, but across everywhere where soccer really becomes more of a talking point in 2030, it's like even more of loud of a discussion. That time, they got to lean into Kylian Mbappe. I understand he wasn't in the World Cup final. We'll talk about that in a moment. They have to lean into the Frenchman. He is literally the dude, man. He is the dude, Rozycki. I'm telling you, AA, this guy, he is. If you put SGA, Caitlin Clark, and think of somebody else that complains a lot. I don't know, just whoever. Freddie Kitchens. So if you just combine,
take any one of them and make them French.
Yes,
that's really all you have to do.
Perfect, Rob. Exactly. You put these guys. This was one of my biggest takeaways. I do have some thoughts on the game, but my biggest takeaway was, damn, how cool would it have been to see Mbappe in this game against Spain? No knock against Messi.
Yes. Eli, real quick. Sorry to interrupt. Question: Is this guy slightly attractive?
No.
Oh, if he was slightly attractive, I would automatically hate his guts. I'm like, this dude's getting all looks.
Kylian Mbappe, he looks like, okay, so in Hogwarts or in Harry Potter in Hogwarts when you have Slytherin, he looks like he would lead Slytherin. Like that is like what I see. I see him in a sweater vest and he's gonna lead Slytherin in. And part of me was a little disappointed that France lost the game the way they did the other night, obviously against Spain. And I know they played and it felt a little underwhelming. I'm happy for Spain, just sticking on this final for a moment, because you have Yamin Lamal, the 19-year-old, that is literally another guy in terms of like a guy that a lot of people are flocking to, but I think he plays a different game than Mbappe. He's been a lot of fun to watch in this World Cup. Soccer has arguably 2, 3, 4 stars that are young enough where they could push it depending on how they look at the World Cup moving forward. I think every 4 years, AA is a long freaking time. We're going to let the F-bombs fly, but freaking time. And I think, between Mbappe, between Lamal, and then you have Erling Haaland, who probably is one of my favorite players ever. And I'm not even a big soccer guy, but he's amazing. I love Erling Haaland. But you have these guys, it just seems like that was my biggest takeaway. You had one of the soccer's longtime heroes and Messi, depending who you look at, but versus the new hero. But I felt like soccer was missing a little bit of a villain today. I felt like, man, what if Mbappe was out there just shoulder checking people and running around? That was my big takeaway.
Well, I thought just watching the event today, it was spectacular to see the event play out. You had Jennifer Hudson with our national anthem, and then the team's national anthems, and then they had a halftime show. Which was phenomenal. And the whole presentation was great. I think, first off, the biggest in-game story, because I told you guys, I'll share with our audience. I was at a friend's place. They had a World Cup final party, and this is full of soccer people. I should say it like that, but full of hardcore soccer fans. I joked with Rob. I'm like, this is one of the first times I walked into a room as a sports fan, and the level of knowledge compared to the rest of the room, I'm like, okay, this is what happens when I tune out after Team USA gets knocked out. Okay, cool. But I thought it was fascinating. Argentina not having a shot on goal attempt the entire contest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, were they really depending on getting this game to penalty kicks to win it? And I found
they were lengthening the game as long as possible. That's what they were doing. Like the numbers on Argentina, I think it was like 12 of their 19 goals came after the 78th minute. They had not led a game after 90 minutes in the entire knockout round of the World Cup. That was 4 games until today. And and they somehow were still there. Like they were great at pulling the Tom Brady 28-3. We're going to pull the rug out from underneath you. That's what they were very good at the first few games.
And Rob and Eli, I found myself as a fan without any rooting interest at all watching this. And I'm like, what if Argentina, no shot on goal attempts, they're down to 10 men, I think from the 80th something minute on. Mm-hmm. What if they actually F around, get this thing to penalty kicks, and win it? That I can't think of another team in pro sports, at least here in America, that would have stolen a championship like Argentina if they would have pulled it off.
I think that's why American fans sometimes have issues with soccer, because like if they would have went to PK somehow and Argentina or whoever would have won, the final score would have been written down on the box score I'm looking at as 0-0 with the winner being pointed out PKs. Right. And, imagine winning a Super Bowl or a World Series without scoring. I mean, the Guardians are trying to do it. But imagine it's dead serious though. 0 runs, you win the World Series. Like, I think that's why American fans, it's tough for them to kind of wrap their heads around.
I think they'll today,
we do low scoring with baseball, but this takes low scoring to a whole new level.
I think today would have been acceptable because at least in this format, you do have 2 extra period times, which was 15 minutes. So you have 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, after 30 minutes, if we still have no score, I love having games go until 3 a.m. We got to wrap this thing up. So,
but the thing is, though, like it was a 3 p.m. kick, so it wasn't like they were fighting, the sunset or anything like that. Honestly, I think that's the one game, and I don't know. I'd like to get a hardcore soccer fan around. That's the one game that you look at both of these teams and go, I don't give a shit what you do. We're going to have a winner. We're going to play. I don't care if it's 90 minutes, 3 hours, 7 hours, 12 hours. We're going to play this game until we have a winner. Yeah. And, and I understand what that, and I'm not saying every game. Like that's, once every 4 years, that's the rule.
Yeah, we're just talking championship and real quick, because their format is not, I think that's what they were talking about with the golden, there's no golden kick. I think that's what it was. Excuse me if I'm wrong. But
golden kicks, golden boots, golden balls. I don't know what the fuck.
I'm very shocked they didn't hand out a golden ball award. To be perfectly honest,
I'm surprised Gold Member wasn't more involved with
all
this.
These gold. By the way,
I think the Spanish captain got the golden ball award. That's the MVP of the trophy, and I'm not making that up. That's the MVP of the tournament.
I think you're right, and they have ugly trophies. Sorry, soccer fans, your trophy is the worst. It is. Look, that trophy looked like a gold pile of shit. Like, you mean to tell me that was like, okay, you kind of work for that? No, but the rule was like, it wasn't a like sudden death, first goal wins. Yeah. So in a way, I kind of like that a little, but I understand that a little bit. Go ahead, Eli.
No, I mean, I was just going to add, I understand Rob's sentiment with that. But it gets tricky then, Rob, because it's like, okay, well, do you allow the penalty kicks for the knockout stage until the World Cup final? Because just play devil's advocate here a little bit, we would not have had the historic upset of Germany earlier on in the World Cup because that was finished in penalty kicks. Yeah. So it gets a little tricky, and I understand, maybe they can do it for the final, but I think soccer already runs into the problem, FIFA obviously, of not knowing what the hell they're doing, for lack of better words, and kind of.
Oh, they know how to make money. They know exactly what they're doing with that.
I get, but I'm saying like some of the decisions, and obviously we benefited off the Balogun. I mean, not really. We got our ass kicked, but we benefited from him playing in the game and all this other stuff. But I just think it's like you get tricky there because if you're FIFA and you're like, well, we're gonna do penalty kicks until the final. It's like I just think you got to keep it. Well,
look at Major League Baseball. They do the ghost runner on second until the playoffs. Yeah, and they changed that for the postseason.
That's fair. I mean, it's an interesting thing.
I think the equivalent to that would be if we're looking for something that's a bit equal to that. All right, in the regular season, it's runner on second from the 10th inning on. I think in baseball, let's say the World Series, all right, we don't want the game to go till 3 a.m. We're not going to play. Let's say after the after the 13th inning, we're going to put a runner on second. Would baseball fans respond to that? Well,
I don't know. Well, but if you want to talk about the PK situation, imagine if this thing goes 13 and we go to a home run derby to win. That's basically what the PKs are. So,
but I mean,
the whole ending of a game, I think they've been trying to figure out for a generation or two, and it just hasn't happened yet.
But I mean, I guess it's like a big discussion, and that's actually a great point because it's like you look at hockey then too, because hockey relies a lot of times on the shootout, and the shootout is one of the. I know we're switching sports for a moment here for a second, but hockey is one of the most fun overtime periods. And granted, they do run an actual overtime period. I believe they run a couple of them before they run shootouts for like the postseason. But
I don't know if they do shootouts at all in the postseason.
I don't think they do. That's what I'm saying.
I think there's a sudden death.
Yeah, so it's like, maybe Rob has a point here. It's very rare. So, write down in your calendars that I say Rob has a point, and I agree with him. But he might have a point here because maybe soccer takes away from hockey's, standpoint, their viewpoint here, and go, you know what, we're going to allow penalty kicks. Well, allow it even in group play. But when it gets to the knockout stage, I think you have to determine that, Rob, in AA. I think you have to determine when we get to single elimination, we are switching it. This is our postseason. Now you play every game into overtime, but then again, it gets tricky because when you're having 2 games, 3 games to early part of the knockout stage, can you really get away with it? You make some good points, Rob, but I just don't know if it'll work.
And to your point, though, the NHL does not use shootouts in overtime. And I do remember, because I couldn't remember if they changed the rule or not, when I was in high school, the Penguins and Flyers played like this 5 overtime playoff game. And everybody in Pittsburgh was watching this thing, and we lose. And heartbreaking fashion, obviously. And I go into social studies class first period the next day, and the teacher's a big hockey fan himself. He just storms in the room like a Wild West, saloon. Doors fly open. He, like Professor, we won't go with a Hogwarts reference, like Professor Snape just barreling in there, turns the TV on. It's a Ken Burns documentary. He looks at the class and goes, "Yeah, they fucking lost." And he flips the lights off, and we watch a deal while he sleeps for an hour and a half.
Dude,
you know what? That's a good teacher right there, Rob.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
a damn good teacher. He
understood. Oh yeah, because I remember it was Ken Burns. I don't remember what else was on because I think by the opening credits I was out too.
It's just go ahead, Double.
No, you finish. I have a follow up.
I was going to say it gets interesting too because I mean, like you argue the point about sports, and it's like just being real. 3 hours in baseball isn't necessarily the same as 3 hours of running on the pitch in soccer, and you run that risk. It's like, do you want to? Because then you have the argument of, I'm just thinking of. I'm not trying to poke holes in the argument, but it's like, you could look at, well, hey, if you have tired legs by the time they get to the semis, are we even going to get the best soccer? So I think it's like protecting the players, but you just, I just don't. I feel weird if you're going to do that, the overtime, you have to do it the entire postseason, the entire knockout stage. But then you run into time logistics, and I'm okay watching soccer to 4 in the morning, but
at least in the knockout round, you're not worried about the same issues you would be having in group play with, hey, we have 25 games, it seems like, happening every day.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what the detractors on the second run, the second base rule, all these rules to kind of quicken the end of a game up was like, dude, this is the pros. We're not talking about a rec league softball field with 2 teams waiting to go in 10 minutes. Like, let's get this done. That would be completely gone after the group stage. What we're talking, I think the round of 32, I think they had 2 or 3 games in a day, and that was it. And they were never in the same city. So, okay,
True.
Whatever's clever on that one. We have lights, we can turn them on.
Yeah, that's
one other.
And plus, too, it's also an international event, too. So, yeah, it might be happening at 8 p.m. in New York City. London don't care. Riyadh don't care. Hong Kong don't care. Sydney doesn't care. Like, so the time's almost immaterial at that point.
Yeah, and the reason why this game was in the semis was on at 3:00 in the afternoon. It was the England, we got it, England, whatever, and that's the whole thing. And
you should have won the war.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the semifinal game, and then
or the semifinal. One thing, real quick, before we move on, I still can't get over the fact that in the championship game, Argentina has 0 shots on goal. That has to be one of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen in a championship game or series. Like, can you imagine? I mean, it's been a while since I know the Super Bowl this year was a blowout, but it wasn't. I'm trying to think, probably Seattle, Denver.
That was a bad one.
That was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl with Denver.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
That was.
But even then, like, I can't go. I mean, to not have an attempt in a championship game, and again, mind you, Argentina had their full 11 for the first 80 plus minutes of the game. Actually, I just saw here, Argentina became the third team ever to not have a single shot on target in 90 minutes at a World Cup match.
Not even a final match.
And here's the thing.
Like I can understand, 20 years ago, if it's like Senegal against, France, okay, it's not going to work out well. But yeah, this is a final where everybody can play.
And it's a team. I'm going to go a little first take here for a second. Sorry. Messi's on this team.
And not much else.
Yeah,
that was what Argentina's plan was. Hey, we got Messi. Is the goalie okay enough? Cool. He doesn't suck. We have a chance.
And that's the thing. And they talked a lot. I was watching some of the national talks about what to expect in this game. And, I got a chance to watch the match between Spain and France. And I, studied up a little bit on it. Just kind of wanted to be knowledgeable about, okay, how are these teams match up a little bit here? This is a pretty big game. It's exciting. We won't get to see another one of these for 4 years. So let's watch it and at least enjoy some of it. I think the big thing with Spain is they're very pressing. And they mentioned that in the national outlet. And national reporters talk about how Spain presses the issue. They're not necessarily just running right to the net. If you watch a really good soccer team, they rotate out. They keep pressing. Where we see sometimes we talk about it with basketball, we have half-court offense. Okay, the New York Knicks thrived off it for most of their run, really. I know they got, in times they were stretching where they were moving a little faster, but they thrived off of having that half-court. They get over half-court, and now we're going to run the offense. Whether it's a pick and roll, we're going to involve the passing a lot here. That's what Spain did tonight, this afternoon. That's what they did this entire tournament. That's why they made France look like a bunch of, kind of like confused guys out there. Like, they just didn't know what was going on. Like, yeah. I mean, that's what
again,
it is.
like
I know you got something to say as well.
No, you're fine. No, with the penalty kick nature of it, though, is like soccer, we got the Knicks or think of the bad boy Pistons, whatever. You kind of look at the game of like, two ways to kind of see it. The team that wins the game is the team that scores the most points, or the team that wins the game is the team that allows the fewest. Yeah. And obviously, I think we had two teams that were kind of facing in that mentality against each other. And then you had the added perk that you could play the 90, the 15, the other 15. So what we're talking, 120 minutes of soccer here at that rate. Right. And you don't have to score a goal to win. You don't. Yeah. Once you get the penalty kicks, it doesn't matter. So, think about a basketball game with almost no shot clock at that rate where you're not pressured to do anything. So, yeah, I could see why, Messi and Argentina, who've been very good at kind of just pulling the rug out from under you in the final 10 minutes, I'm sure, looked at each other about 80 minutes in and said, all right, is everybody warmed up? Let's go. Let's start.
Yeah, in Argentina, I think 12 of their 19 goals happened within, from 75 minutes on. Mm-hmm. So they were come from behind. And I will give Spain credit defensively. It wasn't like Argentina didn't try, right? It was like Spain did not give Argentina any lick of space, in the passing lanes or anything. Like, they were pressing. It was one of those games where it felt like all the action was on one side of the field, and that was it. So again, congrats to Spain, but this is one of those. Nobody's going to question Messi's legacy or anything like that. I'm just saying, if this was basketball, if LeBron was on this team and LeBron's team did nothing offensively in a championship finals, ESPN would be we'll be all over him.
Yeah, it just gets so tricky when we talk about like soccer legacies and things like that, because I was actually on the phone, I believe, with one Rozycki talking about Pele yesterday, and we were talking about how he came over to the States and kind of had that love. Messi being over in MLS now, I just think soccer's so weird, AA, because it's like here in the States, again, we're trying to love soccer, we're trying to talk X's and O's here, but Messi is looked at like if Kobe were to go over and play in China and go play in one of those leagues, he could do no wrong. He could lose every time, in every season he went over there. But he'd be beloved because he basically is just a universal legend. Messi's a different discussion because, this is not discrediting LeBron James in any light, because he's obviously one of the best basketball players of all time. I just think Messi, when it comes to universally loved,
Fair.
there's a very big discussion to be had about that because he's not only loved in Argentina, his home country, he's loved in Europe for what he's done in those scenes and things like that. He's loved now in the States for the MLS stuff. But I think soccer has a big issue too, and I'll hand it back to you, Rob, here in a second. One of my final points here on this is soccer's in a weird spot. A great spot, but a weird spot. We talk about it all the time with the NBA. Who's going to take the baton from LeBron James when he retires? Who knows when at this point. But, when LeBron retires, when Steph retires, when these guys retire, who is taking the baton? And the league seems to be in good hands with a lot of young stars. Soccer's in a spot now where they could look at it twofold. First off, who is going to be the stars we push? Obviously Mbappe, you got Haaland, you got Lamal, obviously, the World Cup champion. And how do we get this to usurp some of these other sports? How can we become a bigger discussion like the Big Three? I'm not saying they'll ever get into a football discussion here in America. I understand that. But how, especially with baseball going into a lockout more than likely next season, how does soccer as a whole start to showcase their stars more across the world and make it universal timed where at least people can watch it at more? Because that's been the complaint is it's in Europe. So just find a way to make it more accessible, replays more accessible, and get eyes on Haaland, Mbappe, and Lamal, and I think we could be having a discussion in 2030 a lot stronger about soccer.
Let me make one quick point to answer, and then I'll swing it to move on. Get MLS, our league, get it off Apple TV.
Yeah, the paywall kills it.
That paywall is damning because Fox had a double. I didn't even know this. Fox had an MLS doubleheader a couple nights ago. I didn't know.
Why?
And they're not going to show another MLS game until the championship. What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
You have to have. When Eli was over my place before Saturday night's main event, this is a true story, and Eli can back me up.
Yep.
The last few Saturdays, Rob, I watch women's soccer on Ion television because I have an antenna, and it's free over the air. And it's it's women's soccer. It's NWSL.
Yep.
And it's good action. I'm not saying, go out of your way and watch it, but it's good action. I enjoy it. And it's free over the air TV, and it's on every single Saturday night, and I'll sit there and watch it.
When I was a kid, it was the bunny ears, and now, you obviously you're still using the bunny ears, but now it's like the free, Vizio or Roku, whatever apps and channels that you just get when you buy a TV with internet on it. Yeah, that's how we find stuff when you're kids, when you're bored, when you're just flipping through channels. And yeah, the MLS, I think it was kind of behaving like they had been around for 100 years and had that kind of street cred. Like, the NFL could not completely go behind a paywall and get away with it. Major League Baseball couldn't do it. And the MLS is proving right now that they can't. So yeah, that needs to change. And and then obviously too, Double A and I talked for a good half hour the other day about, just the problems with the American soccer system and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, we just got to make it more important as a country. And I don't know if we have room for it right now. Believe me, the NFL, NBA, NHL, and the National Hockey League all kind of take up a pretty good amount of airtime. We got training camp starting in 2 weeks. The second that kicks in, all the air is going to leave the room forever. Even baseball is going to be wondering, where their coverage went. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it'll never. My final thing, real quick, Rob. It'll never usurp football. I'm not saying that, but there's got to be a way, man. With everything, with our problem, and I love baseball, but with baseball and hockey having their own kind of problems, and basketball, people find ways to poke holes in leagues. Hey, man. We haven't spent much time looking at FIFA. I know we've looked at it from a grand scale of things, but if we got to deal with FIFA's problems for a little bit just to get some soccer, I don't know. Maybe
FIFA's just a small part of this too. Remember, it's the English Premier League. We got the German big league. We got the Spanish big league. We got So, and actually, I don't think it'd be a bad idea if there is a lockout, if some of these guys book Progressive Field or any of these baseball stadiums while they're sitting dormant, and maybe having a big European match over here that kind of gets the casual fan a little bit more involved with it. And, maybe that'll help the MLS out too.
Yeah, people will go to those games. And I'll say this, if you could find your way to like a Columbus Crew game, you'll enjoy it and want to go back. That is up to the Haslams to market, not just in Columbus, market here in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. Hey, we got a hot product right now. a fun time, take a trip down to Columbus and watch our games. Check it out. They have the new Crew Stadium is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's also weird for Columbus. It's kind of an oddball that they actually have their own,
right?
Their own system here. So yeah, I mean, their own stadium. But yeah, we got to move on here. We already got about 15 minutes over on what we wanted to hit with this. This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. I'm Rob Rozycki. We got Anthony Alford, Eli Moon. We have a packed show in front of us. Up next, we'll have a LeBron James discussion. I know it seems like every time we've talked to you for the last 3 calendar weeks, ever since Jalen Brunson was crying while handing the trophy over to Patrick Ewing, we have been wondering where the hell LeBron James is going to be playing. I think by the vibes in our pre-show meeting, we're all a little over it, but we'll get into it anyway. Double A has a cockamamie thing about a third-place game in other professional sports. We might get into that too. And then obviously news and notes, we'll get into a bunch of stuff. Speaking of leagues that take themselves too seriously, WNBA was in the news with the Dan Patrick Show. We'll get into that a little bit too. But an action-packed main event ready to go for you. Thank you for joining us here on this Sunday night. This is the Inside Edge Network. I am Rob Rozycki, Double A Anthony Alford, Eli Moon, and we shall be back.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. There were 15 flavors to choose from you can't miss. Order W Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code INSIDEEDGE10 to receive 10% off your order. W Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code INSIDEEDGE20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, Baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. What's up, guys? Awesome show today on Unfiltered. Got into a bunch of different things, including this whole parasite outbreak now hitting Northeast Ohio pretty damn hard. Don't eat the lettuce at Taco Bell. Please don't do that. Also, talked about President Trump's remarks. We also talked about the ongoing situation involving North Royalton Police. There's a lot that we got into here in the local news side of things. And we unveiled the meme of the week. AA looked great. Those are up on the Facebook page, Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. Check us out on Monday. The next picture for you to submit memes, we'll have that and all the different local breaking news. And over the weekend, did LeBron finally make up his mind? Who knows? We'll figure it out Monday, 5 p.m. right here on Unfiltered, all along the Inside Edge Network. I'll see you then.
10:46. Do you know where your kids are? This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob Rozycki. We got AA Anthony Alford, Eli Moon. You don't remember that PSA, do you? That was, I think, a little bit before you. Yeah, like before the internet was a thing. Like there used to be like, you'd be like on ABC or whatever like that. It'd be like, it's 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your kids are? Back when we had to worry about kids, wandering the earth unsupervised instead of on devices. Yeah, that was from that back in the day. But you guys don't remember that, do you?
That was even before my time.
Yeah, again, like this was before, it was the like internet kind of took over and destroyed everything.
It was like a commercial, Rob?
It was a public service announcement, PSA, like, only you could prevent forest fires kind of thing. Yeah.
Boy, we needed that last week.
Yeah. Well, I have some other breaking news off the promo, and I'll kick it back to you. Two of the breaking news. One, Kyle, LeBron still hasn't signed anywhere. I know you were wondering in your promo. Monday, you probably still be wondering. Two, AA, you guys, did you coordinate the Hawaiian shirts? Did you? I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Kind of. He said he's a saltier pepper. Remember, he said it in the intro. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm running out of stuff to wear this summer.
I was gonna say, I barely read the emails you send anyway. But was there something in there about how we're like the Hawaiian Shirt Network now, or what's going on there?
Listen, I like Kool-Aid, and and I like to think I'm in Hawaii, but we're in Cleveland. So that's that's a little different. But it is what it is. It's fine. It's
No,
fine.
but
Next time I'll wear a wig to the show.
Double A, man. There's some photos that I didn't think would resurface. That's one of them. When I saw the meme of the week this past week, unhinged. That's unhinged.
No, it was fine. Actually, to be perfectly honest, watching it, I'm like, man, I'm so happy my stomach is not like that anymore. I'm like, man, I've come a long way. So
That's right.
I appreciate. Honestly, I appreciate the photo. It showed up on. I think it was posted on Facebook. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's there.
Oh yeah, Kyle's been getting pretty good about finding very obscure photos. And by the way, too, like, did anybody else watch that promo and just say to yourself that, and just sit in awe of the size and sheer volume of Kyle Cornell's head? Like, that might be like he could host a late night TV show.
Oh no, bro, I'm not.
Is his head really that big?
I'm not even.
I mean, dude, like I'm wearing a size 7 3/4 fitted hat, and I'm saying that. Yes.
Hold up. Play like 5 seconds of the promo again. Hit it, Eli.
All right.
What's up, guys? Awesome show today on Unfiltered. Got into a bunch of different things, including this whole parasite outbreak. Now,
Big ass head.
And for the record, Rob unmuted himself to say that.
Yeah, he sure did, because it wouldn't let me. He said it won't let me. I don't know. Hey, look, there's been a lot of weird things going on this weekend, fellas.
That's what happens. You come at us for meme of the week, and that's what's going to happen.
So anyway, and obviously back to the agenda at hand, because Lord knows we can just bullshit until 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, this is a sports show?
We'll get to LeBron in a second here. Obviously, we're still on LeBron watch, but Double A, yes. You kind of set the group chat ablaze before this whole show started with your whole cockamamie third place NFL game idea, thinking that you could sell the NFL players an additional game happening right after you just got your ass kicked in the title game.
So in the 60s, this actually happened, right? There was actually
the playoff bowl.
It was the playoff bowl, named after somebody named Burt, not Burt Reynolds, but it was
Burt Bell. He was the second commissioner of the NFL after. No, he was the guy right before Pete Rozelle, and he was he co-founded the Eagles, owned the Steelers for a while. He was in the NFL for a long ass time.
So what they did, I'm not going over the entire history of it. Obviously, they did it as competition to the old AFL, and then it became irrelevant when both leagues combined. But what they did, it served essentially as a fundraiser. If you were in that game, the money it helped with player health pensions back then. So it actually contributed to your health insurance and things like that.
Well, the other thing it did too? Do you know where they put the game at first? Actually all 10 years it was played, where it was. Do you know where it was at? It was
at the Orange Bowl, correct?
In Miami. And if you know when the Dolphins were founded, it was like 4 or 5 of those playoff games, the playoff bowls, and someone looked around at everybody and said maybe Miami should have their own team. And the Dolphins were created. So indirectly, that playoff bowl was kind of why the Dolphins exist to begin with.
Yeah. So what I would do, I'm not composing this to players just like, hey, for the love of the game, that won't work. But I'm heavily incentivizing hey, a cash reward of some sort, or you could throw it into the pensions, do whatever you need to do to kind of help out and kind of give benefits to players post NFL career, because I do feel bad, what's going on with Chris Johnson, the Tennessee Titans, the ALS, things like that. So I would like to bring a little bit of awareness with that and help heavily incentivize. So that way, hey, if you participate in this game and you play and you win, boom, this is how much money you can make and go from there. And I would honestly kind of use it. You could use it as a vehicle, kind of what they did in the 60s, travel across the country in non-NFL cities, maybe in the South because it's, whatever. But whatever, like, use this as an opportunity. Like, hey, it's a spotlight game. If you win the game, you're going to win some money. You're going to, you're going to benefit from participating and winning the game. And look, you need to end your season on a W. So,
okay,
I think it would be something there. Obviously, from the standpoint of the fans, and with television, CBS, Fox, NBC would pay a crap ton of money to see the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions, whoever it may be, in the third place game every single year. So that's another way for the NFL to make money. And on top of that, drive some, incentivize, drive some awareness with the NFLPA. I think if you do something like that, it would be better than the Pro Bowl. I mean, I think you have something would be in place with that.
Rob, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're both going to take this apart surgically.
Yeah.
Now, Vince Lombardi, we want to go back and talk about the precedent here back in the 60s. Vince Lombardi coached in a couple of these as after the Packers won a couple of titles. Do you know what he called it to his players? And I'm quoting here. Let me get it right here. He called it, quote, the shit bowl, a loser's bowl for losers. And then you go into all-pro defensive tackle Roger Brown, who played in the most of these games of any player. They had 10 of them. He played in half with the Detroit Lions in the 61, 62, 60, 61, and 62. The Lions were in this thing, by the way. And then the Rams in 67 and 69. He called it the worst inferiority complex ever. Quote, I was in 5 of them. I had to play in it 5 in 10 years. It was in existence. It was pitiful. So that's kind of what the players back 140 years ago thought of this game. I don't know if their attitudes would improve on that. And we saw what happened in the Pro Bowl the last few years it was around, and those guys playing a game that they didn't want to play in.
Well, let me address a couple. First off, the Pro Bowl, that's a whole other thing. But let me address the first part. Your goal is not to be in this game every single year. Like, I don't want Josh Allen to be participating in the third place game year in and year out. Like, your goal should be Super Bowl. Like, that should be that. But it would be. But if you lose the conference championship, which Buffalo does often, that this would be an opportunity to, number one, in on a W,
Well,
but also, again, financial incentive to close out. It gives the players reasons to play the game, even your stars, because you do have to incentivize. But if you could do that, and you're going to have media money coming in, so it's not like you're grabbing the money from scratch, I think from that point, you will have players at least participate, and they're going to want to win the game.
Back to you, Rob.
You're talking about, I think it's actually wonderfully naive and optimistic that you would think that if the Bills were in the game, it wouldn't be Kyle Allen starting the game. It would be Josh Allen here. Josh Allen, who makes about $40 million a year. I don't know what the financial incentive would have to be for him to want to play in a game like that because again, this is a sport that we are talking. We've seen it happen, and we will see it happen in a few months and probably in a few weeks. That any play can be your last. This time you get hit might be the last one. Might do you in completely. And ask Ryan Shazier, ask JOK, ask anybody along that line. And the financial gain to play in something like that is ultimately meaningless, I think would be kind of tough.
I think, to add to that point, Double A, you have 17-game season, like Rob said. These guys aren't even playing in these half the time if they're already eliminated from the playoffs. I understand your point. I do want to give you credit. I understand your point. Yes, you must end on a W. I love that mentality. That's what we strive for here, obviously, on the Inside Edge Network. Start and finish your day with a W. Everywhere, we want to start and finish your day with a W. I get it. That's just not how sports works, bud. And, somebody's got to lose. So If they deserve a chance to end on a W, then why doesn't the team that lost in the first round deserve a chance to end on a W? Shouldn't everybody get a fair chance to end on a W so that everybody goes in? See, like, that's the problem we have, because here's a few things. One, we look at the World Cup. We just spent extensive time in the first segment talking about the World Cup. France and England, though it turned out to be a fun game ultimately, I think it was 6-4, England won that game. It was a fun game ultimately, but Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, the two best players for England, sat out. And they came in. Bellingham actually got the breakaway goal later on. He had to come in because they were starting to blow the lead. But France started mollywopping them, essentially, for lack of better words. They were putting them in a bad spot. But nobody cared. I'm just going to be honest. Nobody could have cared if that was 8-4, 8-6, 8-3. And I know, I get it. Maybe not the money incentive, though. I think there is one for the third place game, if I'm not mistaken, for FIFA. Here's my thing, W.
The only thing that helped out real quick with the FIFA game, and we talked about it with Mbappe, with the winning the Golden Boot,
Yes.
those stats counted towards his World Cup.
Right.
So, like, that gave him the Golden Boot for this tournament.
Right, because I think, it finished with
It
12.
did, yeah.
Yep. So now here's my thing, Double A. You know me. I'm the fun guy here. I like to think of ideas that maybe could help this idea. Okay, I'll hear you out on your third place game. We got to figure out, like Rob said, the financials for these guys that are multi-millionaires, why they would come play this game. But if they play this game, if they say, you know what, Double A, I love your idea. Thank you so much. We're gonna run with this at the NFL to Roger Goodell. We're gonna run with this. I think there should be like a trapdoor situation. Okay, you can play in the third place game, but if you're in it back-to-back years like a Josh Allen and you lose, now
Make it like Hard Knocks.
Now you're the 32nd pick in the draft. Now you get the worst pick in the draft. You know, if you're in position for a different, now you get the 32nd. You lose your first round pick. You play the third place game, but if you win it, you can position yourself for higher draft. I mean, you got to do something. I mean, if we're going crazy here,
in this scenario, we'll pick a team that's, decent. Okay, the Steelers.
I did not mean for
the Steelers.
Segment.
Well, I think the Steelers would actually fit in pretty well. They're a decent team.
Hold up, real quick. I did not mean for this segment to be the bash the Buffalo Bills segment. I'm sorry. I apologize to all Bills fans. You do not deserve this level of punishment.
But and I won't use the Bills in this situation. We'll use the Steelers here. Good team, around 500, but they don't have a quarterback.
Right.
They somehow make this third place game, which again, Mike McCarthy winning a playoff game, we'll see what happens with that. But they somehow get to this third place game.
Yeah.
And you have Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, whoever the hell the quarterback is right there. And there is a potential, hey, if we win this, we're going to be a top 10 pick. If we lose this, we're picking dead last in the draft. Do you really think Mason Rudolph and anybody in that quarterback room, I think Aaron would be a bad example. He's done after the year. Mm-hmm. But do you think if you're the quarterback of that team, would you want to win that game and make it a whole shit ton easier for them to draft your replacement?
So that's a great question, Rob. And this would not happen to the first time you go there. This is for multiple offenders. These are for the Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills. I will double down on it. I don't care. I will double down on it. They've done it to themselves. They pile on us in Cleveland all the time.
You can use Lamar.
Yeah. If this would have existed this past season, it would have been Denver versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh,
you think Matt Stafford would have wanted to play in that game?
But think about it.
He was talking about retirement before the season started. He didn't want to play in the games that counted.
What if the NFL stripped the lottery a little, or like the draft odds a little bit, and they said, you know what, we'll figure out the math. I'm not going to figure the math out. I don't have time for it right now. But they can figure it out to where you slot into a top 16 draft pick. If you win the third place game, you get it, but if you are a multiple time offender and you've lost a third place game in multiple years in a row, then you have to drop down to no pick. You don't get your first round pick. You surrender it to somebody. Like Double A, that's where the cinema is, because you're not going to get a bunch of multimillionaires. Now, I hear your pitch, but imagine I'm Aaron Donald, because he's going to play probably this year. Imagine I'm Aaron Donald, and then pitch me that idea and tell me what amount of money, a car, airplane, helicopter that I can win.
Public office at that rate.
I'll give you this.
We'll put you in the Senate.
Yeah, I'll give you this.
I mean, it worked for Lindsey Graham's sister. I mean, he's probably more qualified than that, but.
But I'll give you this. Sorry, Bills fans. We got to use Buffalo again. Buffalo's in this game. They win. Maybe Sean McDermott still has a job. You end on a winning note. It's like, hey, you at least can prove that you could beat one of the elite teams. You get your players ready to play, whether they want to play or not. You get them ready to play. You put a winning game plan together. You beat the Los Angeles Rams at the end of January, and it saves your job.
But you have the other scenario too that, it could be like Jim Harbaugh where, Bisciotti with the Ravens said, well, what if you would have made the playoffs? I would have waited a week longer to fire him. Like if he's dead man walking, no matter what, he's going to look around and be like, why the fuck do I get, or he's not going to care about keeping the team healthy and long-term prospects of the players and that kind of stuff. Like if you have basically a lame duck head coach coaching that game with lame duck players, I think that is the, we have a pretty good, recipe for injury here.
And it could heat up.
But again, I will look at this from the standpoint, hey, if this is a final opportunity, because this is the National Football League, we talk about anything and everything. If somebody scratched themselves the wrong way, it's in the rundown. Like if somebody performs I'll give you guys a perfect example, and it's kind of stupid, but it happened. Mm-hmm. Matt Flynn earned a NFL contract off of one meaningless game in Week 17 in the NFL season.
And we've made fun of the Seahawks for that ever since.
But not Matt Flynn's fault. Matt Flynn earned that contract.
Yeah, but
it's just one of those things. I'm sorry, real quick, Eli. It's just one of those things where, like, final impressions, lasting impressions, things like that do matter. I mean, so if you incentivize, you give the teams the opportunity to go out there one more time. You're going to have the television money regardless. Great. If this player doesn't want to play in the game, that's okay. Somebody else is going to go in, step up, maybe make a good impression, and maybe they sign with somebody else. Who knows? And earn a starting job.
I think you've made some very strong points. I think some of the points, however, have kind of buried this case for me because it's like, yes, the head coach could get that momentum, get all that, but to Roz's point, it could also be a bad spot depending where the coach's mentality is at. Also, I'll use Denver. We'll save Buffalo for a moment here. I'll use Denver since they would have been in this hypothetical third-place game this past season. Sean Payton was already under a lot of scrutiny, not a ton, but a lot of scrutiny for his management of the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. Why some of the calls and decisions he made. Now give him another game, and then he goes and gets, whomped because their quarterback would have been Jarrett Stidham against Matt Stafford and the Rams. Now are we having hot seat discussions about Sean Payton, who instead of maybe ending his season on a WAA, has lost 2 in a row going into the following season. So now you have a coach that, okay, we just didn't get it done against the Patriots, bad weather conditions, we had a backup quarterback, but then he goes and loses again. Are we going to start measuring a third-place game in terms of coaching carousels and hot seats and things like that? Because as much good as it could do if you end on a W, if you end on an L, that could be your last L you catch.
Yeah, if you get your doors blown off 45-0 and the coin's still in the air on the heads or tails, if you're going to keep your job, that might be enough.
Yeah. But here's my last point before we move on. Yeah, I get all that. And that's a rare circumstance. Like, you're not, losing your starting quarterback. Like, that's one thing. But if that game is played the Sunday between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, what is our lead story that Monday morning? Well, we're talking about the NFL.
I know we're talking about the Monday before the Super Bowl. I'm sure we're probably wondering where LeBron James is still going to play.
Yeah, probably.
Damn it, Rozycki.
Probably.
But you're right,
Dubs.
I'm
I'm done with this topic. Go ahead and move them. Probably. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Rob,
where's LeBron scratching his balls?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we have talked about shit and balls and.
It is what it is. Well, I think we'll take this opportunity to take a quick little respite here. By the way, I am watching on the Ocho at this point in time, and I'm sorry the last 5 minutes have been tough for me. I have been entranced. They are having a race up ice stairs. People, no shoes, no nothing on your hands, and you got people with those, like the squirt guns where you kind of, there you go, double. Where you pull up the water and you're just blasting people with water on this ice thing, and you got guys falling everywhere. It was entranced. It was amazing to watch.
ESPN is one day away from showing laser tag on their airwaves.
Dude, if we're on long enough, it might happen. I'm on the Ocho. This is all completely like, who the hell knows?
You had
what's
to sign
happening
a
with
ton
this.
of waivers on that, I'm sure. A ton of waivers. I mean, my goodness, I'm not trying to be the safety guy. That's not safe. That's ice.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're
What
getting.
I'm talking about.
Well, because the other thing is too is like you can pull people down while you're climbing up. It's only like about an 8 foot wide deal, and that like I was, they had the rules up before they started the race, and it blatantly said you can pull people down, and then when the first person wins, they ring the bell and whatever they get number one in the race, then they can join in throwing the water down on everybody who's still trying to win this thing.
Hold up. Why am I thinking, if you guys remember the old Nickelodeon show Guts, why am I thinking, the aggro crag, you can pull these kids down on
I mean, it's basically like it's like Guts plus roller derby is pretty much where we're living here. And honestly, I'm completely on board with this. I think this should be the next great sport in this country. But anyway, yes.
Rozycki, this is how the team should decide who LeBron goes to.
I'm on board with that, but even though 80-year-old Pat Riley would be entertaining watching that one go down. This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob Rozycki. I don't think Mickey Arison, cruise ship owner, trying to beat the shit out of everybody doing that. That'd be great. Dan Gilbert there throwing elbows. It'd be wonderful. But yeah, well, and who knows? Like, there might be an NBA owner who's like, that we don't know about that, like trains in MMA that could just throw this whole thing off.
Rich Paul at the top just dumping the water down on the teams.
Not today.
Him and LeBron would be doing it. Yeah, absolutely. And just, Adam Silver, involved too somehow. But yeah, this is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob Rozycki. We got AA Anthony Alford, Eli Moon. We're about halfway home on this extravaganza. We'll take a quick break, come back. We will eventually get into this LeBron James stuff. I know all three of us seem really eager to talk about it. And then obviously we got news and notes popping up here. We'll figure out what we've learned and get through the rest of this bad boy and get your Sunday night concluded so you can start your week and have a good old time going into work tomorrow. This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. Again, I'm Rob. We got AA, Eli Moon, and we'll be back.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one-stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code INSIDEEDGE10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code INSIDEEDGE20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's Fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. Coming up Monday on Midnight Run, hopefully LeBron makes a decision, because if he doesn't, I'm going to propose ways he can go to a crappy team. I'm talking Utah. I'm talking the Pelicans. I'm talking Memphis or some of these other garbage teams, because if he's not ready to sign, we go send his ass to Utah. We're going to talk about that. Also, by Monday, will it be safe to eat lettuce? Will our air quality improve? So much to get into here on Midnight Run coming up. But you guys enjoy. Have a great weekend. And we're back better than ever as we are getting closer to football. Oh, it's almost there, folks. It's right around the corner. Hope you join us Monday at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network and on our Roku app, Inside Edge Network.
Welcome back to the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. The only thing that can make this ice climbing thing better, there's now kids racing each other. This is amazing. I am Rob Rozycki. We got Double A Anthony Alford, Eli Moon. How is everything going? We got LeBron James talk to come up to. We'll get to that in a second. But yes, I'm trying not to be distracted by this ice race, which is just completely taking over my night.
I'd rather talk about that. What is your breakdown of what you're seeing right now, Rob?
I mean, these kids straight up. I mean, there's one here. It looks like he's 6 years old. I mean, we're not talking about like high school kid. We're talking about small children who are trying to climb this ice. It's like you got a staircase, flat part, and then another staircase. And they're all trying to get up this thing, and they are just getting bombarded by adults with water guns and everything. He just took a complete ass first right down this whole thing.
What happens if somebody gets hurt? Like, what happens?
I mean, everyone's smiling right now. I don't see any tears happening, but yeah.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts. And you know what happens? You go ice skating with your entire family, you almost break your ankle on the ice track. Well, let's not dive into my trauma, my past. But look, that's all I'm saying is, it starts off good. But then
this one little guy just stood up. He was trying to stand up. And there was a kid underneath him trying to push up to try to stand up himself. He slipped and did this. This was right out of MMA. It was like this perfect spinning, sweep the leg Johnny, and just took this dude straight up out. All this dude was just trying to do was just get up and try not to die. It was everyone's smiling though.
Yeah, that's what
everyone looks like they want to be there.
Yeah, I'm sure money will do that to you. I'm sure they're all getting paid pretty
That's
handsome.
what the third place game. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, but these are multi-millionaires. This is Johnny's college fund right here. This is
no. They're talking
money.
to the winner of this race who cannot be 10 years old. He is not even close to what it. No,
we got to get footage of any random event that is aired on the old show. And we got to do a serious X's and O's breakdown. Yeah. We just pull random clips of whatever they show at the old show, and we do a full X's and O's breakdown. We got to do that next week or the week after.
Well, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea for you ever see Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yes.
They got the bad horror movie up there, and then there's the little, or the sci-fi movie, and there's the little silhouettes. And they're just making fun of it the whole way. I think we could do something along that line. I think there has to be something out there with no rights that is just equally as bad. Oh my God, now it's junior girls race. Jesus Christ. This is going to get medieval.
Dude.
Because they know when we're talking training camp for 6 effing weeks.
There's one that's 2 feet tall. Jesus Christ.
I'm not usually one against fun, but somebody's got to step in and look out for these people, man.
There is hundreds of people watching this. I'm not going to say thousands. There's hundreds of people watching.
If they're having fun, who are we to step in?
And I just saw the race start. They cracked the starting pistol or whatever, or they hit the beep, and all 7 contestants immediately took one step and face planted.
I'm just saying, everybody has fun until it's not fun, is all I'm going to say, Double A. Everything's fun. Going sledding and then you wipe out until you land onto a sheet of ice. Things are fun until they are not fun.
Why did I just Google ESPN old show, the old show? And one of the first things I see, the 2025 Slippery Stairs races.
That's exactly what I'm watching. That's exactly the word for word. Yes, is exactly.
And the screenshot, there are multiple people, and all you see
torn ACLs left and right.
Well, I think the kids
concussions and torn ACLs.
The kids would fare better than the adults because, when you're a kid, you could fall out of a 20-foot tree and just skin your knee and walk away and be fine. You're pretty malleable as a kid. If that's our age, if you have an over 40 in that situation, man, you got paramedics standing by. That is going to happen.
Yeah, I did. I think I shared with both of you guys separately, at our my grandma's repast last weekend. All of us, former kids, we're all sharing man, we got one more game in us. And meanwhile, in the same conversation, I have this injury, I just recovered from that injury, but I had to get iced down. I'm like, one more game, man. We better put the ball away and pick up the sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right now they're showing this little girl. She is trying her hardest to get up here. Like they've already had a winner here and everything. But I think the way, like I saw the rules saying, if you have to be at the top of the thing until the end of the race. So like there's a potential like somebody could be coming up there and like King of the Mountain style just yank your ass down.
Oh,
but they had this little girl doing everything. Like she's like bear crawling up this thing, and then there's like adult human beings. This girl is giving it her all and just dumping buckets of water on her face and just like super soakers and just like laughing their asses off. And she is working her ass off to just try to do it.
You want to talk about, like, we talk all the time, and we did with Love Island about the origin story, like the villain origin story. That's that girl's villain origin story right there. I'm telling you, when we find out that she wants to take over the world when she's like 25 or something, this is why.
Yeah, it's like the new Candace Owens or something like that was like birthed right then and there. But yeah, so this. Man. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I don't know. We can keep on talking about this the ice race, and I blame myself for just being entranced by this right now. It's either that or the Big Boss Man on the other TV.
Oh no,
that's where we're at sports wise tonight.
I guess we gotta talk LeBron. All right. It's in the
we can't talk Browns. I mean, we did tease all that situation here, and we do have the.
It is a good conversation we plan on having with the Browns, though. I'm actually excited about this one.
Yeah, and obviously, like LeBron can, we're waiting on him. He can wait on us a little bit. That's fine. But I was thinking about it this week though, and we're talking. We got to ramp up the training camp happening. Everyone's worried about the quarterback competition. For what it's worth, ESPN lists Deshaun Watson as the QB1 right now over Shador. We'll see what plays out with that, but. I think a conversation we're not having right now is what is this defense going to look like? We have had Myles Garrett on one end of this or wherever he's been at on the D line. We've seen him play everywhere. He is the bona fide Hall of Famer on this team. He's basically Jose Ramirez, if you want to take it to a Guardian standpoint, like the one certifiably just top notch, 5-star player here. Mm-hmm. We've talked about it. I mean, it was a news story a month ago. Traded to Los Angeles. He's not on the team anymore. He's going to be playing with Aaron Donald now. Where's this Browns defense at? Do they need a new leader? I know he's the best player on the team and on the defense. Was he necessarily the leader? And who is now the best player on this defense? Who is the guy that other defensive coordinator or offensive coordinators are going to have to game plan around?
I'll take this one first if that's cool with you, AA. I would say the best player and the leader can be the same thing, but I think you're going to see two guys emerge for the Cleveland Browns. Best player, first off, is Carson Schlesinger on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you can argue Denzel Ward, and I love Denzel Ward. He's one of my favorite Cleveland Browns of all time, actually, because of just the entire Ohio journey to where he's at now, almost a decade now. With this upcoming season, will be his 10th year, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFL. 9th year in the NFL. My apology. 2018 he was drafted. So 9th year in the NFL, but almost a decade, and I can really appreciate that. I think he's going to be very important still, but I think the best player is clear. It's Carson Schlesinger. I think if the Browns can at least be competitive in these football games and the defense looks good, he might get some discussion for defensive player of the year. I think he can make that leap. He is very good. He's all over the ball. I understand. Things happen. The Browns could win 4 or 5 games, and maybe he's not as much in the discussion. But I think if they could at least be competitive in games and look like a fun team, he might get some discussion with that. I really wish there was a world where him and JOK were both playing together because, man, the Browns would be in a great spot linebacker-wise, but who knows if they go Schlesinger. He play the what-if game, it gets a little dangerous. Now, to answer the other question, Rob, which is like who steps up essentially, who's going to be the leader for this Cleveland Browns defense? 2 guys. Schlesinger for sure, because you already saw how he handled in the Myles Garrett trade and the aftermath, and he said, I was out working on my backswing. News happens, we're moving on. Like, the way he handled it and kind of just deaded it, essentially, right there with the media. You weren't getting more out of him. But the other guy, too, guys, keep an eye on Tyson Campbell. The Browns traded for him with Greg Newsome. They made a move. midway through the year and everybody's like, oh my goodness, we haven't even seen how the first Jaguars trade works out all the way. Can we chill trading with the Jaguars? And Tyson Campbell actually was one of the bright spots on a very good Cleveland Browns defense. He had a good run with us for the back half of the year. He's 26 years old. He just turned 26 in March, so he'll play this entire year at the 26-year-old age. He is where most people consider it, being in your prime. And I think two factors. One, him coming over here and already having a good momentum, and the fan base tends to love him. My guy Cliche absolutely loves Tyson Campbell. But also the other thing is, you see Denzel Ward. I just mentioned him. He's a veteran corner. He's been absolutely phenomenal from lockdown to at least very, very great, very, very good right now. He's still a solid corner. I think Tyson Campbell can learn from him about how to be a true leader on the team, get better at the cornerback position. I think it's somebody that you look at the end of the year and go, hey, we're okay with whatever Denzel wants to do after this season. If he says, you know what, if it's another year and he wants to move on, we have the future for the foreseeable future at corner with Tyson Campbell. I think those are your two guys that step up, AA.
Jared Verse. The Rams did not want to give him up. And I know you're going to look at him and at first say, because this is your Myles Garrett replacement. And you're not necessarily asking this kid to become Myles Garrett right now. But I still think he can make a huge difference on this defense. I think Browns fans will love him when camp is done this year. I think they're going to love him. And honestly, he kind of made an impression on me day one, walking in the door and saying, this is my number. Dylan Gabriel, you figure it out. But this is my number. And that's that. And he's a game wrecker. I think he's somebody who, again, when you're facing Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, 2, 4, 6 times a year, you need somebody on that outside that could make plays, make impact plays. He's athletic. He has all the moves that you need. Obviously, he's not as seasoned as Myles Garrett, but he has a dog in him that I don't think Myles Garrett has in terms of impacting the locker room as a team, that kind of thing. So I think Jared Verse could be somebody, and I don't disagree with any of Eli's answers. I think those answers are fantastic. They're great. But I am pinpointing Jared Verse as somebody who could really, really step up. And if I have to give a second player to him, maybe next to him, let's see how Mason Graham's looking.
That's who I was going to say. That's what I'm kind of curious about.
Yeah, let's see if he can elevate his game in the interior defensive line, because if you still are getting pressure on the outside, if you're still getting, from Schwarzenegger, like you still getting that linebacker, let's see if Mason Graham in the interior can make impact plays and disrupt the running attacks across the AFC North. And if he could do that, Rob, then I think this young defense can really, really elevate themselves and take some pressure off of Denzel Ward in the secondary.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be curious to see what happens with this defense. Obviously, no more Jim Schwartz, Mike Rutenberg in, so it's a completely new kind of brain trust, new coaching staff, period. No Stefanski, we got Munkin in too, so it's a lot of unknowns. Rutenberg does typically, run a 4-3, work with Robert, I think Saleh a lot, and, that kind of coaching tree in there. So there is a little bit of a precedent to that, because with Myles, I wouldn't be shocked if you got the personnel, you could change to a 3-4, you can move around here. But I am going to be curious to see what happens with Mason Graham. I mean, his life was probably made the easiest out of the bunch with being next to Myles Garrett the whole way, taking up a lot of, attention on that defensive line. And if he can get in there, I don't think the stats are going to be there unless you're Aaron Donald. You're not going to wow, the stat sheet as an interior lineman. But if he's in there and he can blow up the run game, if he can mess around with that and he can make a team one-dimensional, then, yeah, that's going to make things a lot easier for, the other sides of that defense. I think Mason Graham's going to be your guy that's going to have to be maybe not the best player, but the heart and soul of the whole thing. If he's blowing up that line, be it for a pass rush or for a run, then the entire defense gets a whole lot easier to do and a whole lot easier to scheme around. But yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with any of the names that were mentioned right now. Especially Schlesinger. I think he is primed and ready to go, maybe for a breakout year. I don't know if it's Defensive Player of the Year breakout year. if anybody on that team is going to be that guy, it's going to be Verse. I think, he would be now in a prime position to be, have that, oh my God, this guy is an elite pass rusher in this league kind of season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at least with no Myles Garrett, there are plenty of options with talent on defense and leaders and Pro Bowling, that kind of stuff. So it isn't the Guardians without Jose Ramirez. They are, pretty stockful in other positions too.
Yeah, and the one thing to keep in mind too, I mean, I don't think we're going to have too much disagreements here, but just in terms of the discussion, Schlesinger and Verse, a few years apart, but they're kind of already on the same trajectory, at least, based off his rookie season. I mean, Schlesinger is one of the young star linebackers in this league. He won, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I'm sure Rozycki is reacting towards the ice stairs, but...
They're throwing balls at him now.
Oh, no.
I'm back.
Okay,
I'm back.
good.
I'm like,
good. No, I needed the update because I saw your face go.
Turning into my favorite sport of all time.
His eyes was just.
Yeah, he went. I was like, well, I know I didn't.
Well,
say
see a
anything
dude crawling up the stairs and it's like dodgeball and Vince Vaughn. He gets a red ball right in the face. Like, what the hell's happening?
I was like, was my Carson Schlesinger take that crazy? He went.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But no, they're good. They're around the same trajectory right now, essentially. In terms of Verse has got a couple years on Schlesinger. But I believe he is one of those players that can kind of make that leap. And I think what he's done on the field, off the field, through training camp, the way he spoke to the media, I think that is something to keep an eye on with Schlesinger. Now, the one thing I'll say, guys, and the reason I lean towards Tyson Campbell, too, I think, fair points with Mason Graham, fair points with Jared Verse, but those guys are going to help each other. Like, I don't think it's going to be on one or the other. And that's why I lean towards Schlesinger for my other point, Rob, about him being the defensive player of the year potentially, or at least in that discussion. Because I think you're going to have some Jared Verse games. I think you're going to have some Mason Graham games. But they're like, my little brother and his best friend played football growing up, and everybody called them peanut butter and jelly. Well, that's what I like to think of with Mason Graham and Jared Verse. Like peanut butter and jelly. You can't go wrong when they're both right there on the line rocking with each other. But I don't think it's not, I guess maybe I sympathize with the corners a little bit more. When you're on an island, when you are literally out there, what they call Revis Island, when he was out there doing the thing, there is a lot going on for a cornerback. And I'm not discrediting what Graham and Verse will bring to this team, but it's been a minute since the Browns have had a truly lockdown on both sides secondary. They had it for a quick moment. Martin Emerson, you had guys in here that were making, Newsome even was playing ball for a little bit here. Delpit's obviously still with the squad, but you had guys that were really go out and get it. And the more I watch this league continue to transition into a pass-first league, and you have your rare occasions of the teams that still run the football very well, if you have a cowbell or whatever, a workhorse, you see so many teams winning by passing the football now, guys, that I think it's almost imperative. I think I'll double down on it. Not even I think, I will double down on it. Tyson Campbell, he needs to be one of the main guys making a big step on this defense this year, or the Browns are going to be in a bad spot at cornerback moving on. I know Denzel, it seems like he's going to retire as a Cleveland Brown, but he's getting older as the years go on. Obviously, that's how it works. And then you have Tyson Campbell. Besides that, guys, you got a lot of kind of like, let's see what happens with this cornerback room. Miles Harden's in there. I get that. Michael Coates. You don't have a lot after those two. So it's going to be so imperative that Tyson Campbell picks up more veteran leadership from Denzel Ward. And then he also can make that next leap to where if things don't go our way this year, which has been more of the case than not since 99, then if they do have Denzel Ward come to him and go, hey, Miles asked out last year. I waited one more. I want out as well. Okay, we're not sitting there with our pants down because, freaking Denzel Ward walked out of town and now we have no cornerbacks. And now guess what? We talk about these top first-round picks. We want to use it on a quarterback if we got to figure that out or this or that. Buddy, if Denzel Ward isn't on this team after this offseason and you don't have a lockdown corner, get ready. You're drafting another corner. This is a Joe Hayden draft coming up. You're drafting a guy in the first round at secondary. So I just think that's why it's so imperative with Tyson Campbell. The Browns don't have much back there, at least on the line. You have Verse, you have Graham, you also have Alex Wright, who the Browns did into a multi-year extension in the middle of the year last year. There are other guys that I think it's going to be a committee thing. You're going to have Verse games, you're going to have Graham games. But when you're out on that island as a corner and you're the only other guy with some sort of a reputable name right now based off how you played last year, I just think that's the most important right now.
And I think that's where a scheme is going to really be important in seeing the transition, between the two different coaching philosophies. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. And Eli, you kind of stole my thunder in terms of Denzel Ward in the sense of if the Browns as a team, if they don't have W's, as many W's as we need early in the season, Denzel could be trade bait. Because now you open the door, and you alluded to it already, by trading Miles, now the door is wide open. If things are not going well, the trade piece is Denzel Ward. If he can stay healthy, that's somebody who can contribute right now to a playoff team if we're not that playoff team.
Yeah.
Well, and all the names that we've mentioned, all besides Denzel Ward, all the names that we've mentioned, if it's Mason Graham, if it's Verse, if it's Schlesinger, they're all 3 years or less in the league. They're all young players. And I think we can kind of see with the way this defense is built when they think their window is going to open, and it's not right now. And Denzel's probably not going to be there for that. So same whole argument with Myles Garrett.
Right.
And I'll say this too real quick about the Myles Garrett, Jared Verse. If you're a Browns fan, what you're hoping for is for this trade to play out exactly how Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff, that trade played out all those years ago, where, okay, you have a stud veteran who handled business with your organization, but not enough winning. Yeah, he's going to go to the Rams and handle business. But what you're hoping for is for a young player to come back and maybe he handles business too and grows with your organization, and then you win, and he's making impact plays as well at a cheaper cost.
And I think
you're hoping for.
Yeah, double and I'll hand it back to you then, Rob. I think the crazy thing about that too is you alluded to it, my bro, is we don't know what the scheme's going to look like ultimately. I know, Rob, you talked about the 4-3, and at least that's what they lean towards based off his kind of tree he's come from in coaching. But it's going to be interesting because the Browns are going to have a focal point on this defense. I don't think it's going to be as pretty necessarily as they were last year. I think they have a potential to still be top 10 if they can shape up a few things, right? But we're going to find out if they want to become a monster, defensive line team that just runs everybody over, or if they want to be, a no-fly zone essentially, like Seattle was, the Legion of Boom. Like, yeah, they had a few fierce guys on the defensive line, Michael Bennett, some of these other guys that were there, but I believe Bruce Irvin even was on the defensive line. You think of some of those guys, but then really it boiled down to who? Sherman, Chancellor, those guys, Earl Thomas. I mean, so I wonder what the Browns are going to look like. And to answer the question, Rob, I think it's a great question. I think we'll find out essentially what the Browns defense will look like for not only this year, but for years to come, hopefully under Mike Rudenberg, based off of where their strengths show, because they are light on cornerback right now. Defensive line-wise, I don't think there's going to be just one guy. I think it's going to be a committee thing. I'm a little worried about the secondary, if you couldn't tell.
That seems to be kind of the way the new NFL is working, where, you have 6 defensive linemen that just kind of rotate in and out, and Myles Garrett kind of, again, like a bell cow back, kind of broke the rule because he was that good. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be dictated on, what personnel pans out and what personnel doesn't. If you got a lot of linebackers, if you got, dudes behind Schlesinger that can play pretty well, then okay, we might think about a 4 linebacker set. If you got, guys playing with Mason Graham very, very well, if that is a deep well of talent there for a rotation, okay, 4-3 it is. But, I think that's, if they're smart, that's going to be where they want to go, is where the team pushes them. So, but I do like the idea of a new coaching staff, a new defensive coaching staff, where really anything could be up. And, it's a lot of wild cards here. We don't know all of the stuff that we assumed the last 6 years under Stefanski isn't now 100%. The Steelers are dealing with the same thing. Our Ravens are, like Harbaugh and Tomlin. They've done things that way for 20 years. All the fans now are sitting here going, all right, what are the new rules we're playing by now? So we're going to find that out with the Browns, even though we're a lot more seasoned with that particular team than we are with maybe the Steelers or the Ravens doing it. But there's a lot of wild cards.
I just want to make clear, the most stable franchise in the AFC North right now is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. What?
We ought to be ashamed of ourselves.
What is it right now? The whole thing going on with the AFC East at this point. The most senior coach in the AFC East, I believe right now, is the New York Jets.
Correct. That's why they're going to be a playoff team this year.
Because Miami and Buffalo just switched up their guy. Vrabel was hired right after.
Yeah,
So the dean of the coaches in the NFC East has been there a year.
Are you ready? I know we got to go to break. Are you ready for the Geno Smith Jets comeback run? Are you ready?
You're still on that? I would have thought you forgot about that in the last couple of months. That it was a passing fancy. It was a phase. It was something that frosted tips for me in 1999. Like I didn't think it was going to be anything serious here.
Do you still have pictures of you with the frosted tip, Rob Rozycki?
Not that you know of.
No, you got. Now that you mentioned it, you got. All right, just said no.
Okay, bro. We just talked about Kyle and his parade float size head with the meme of the week. The last thing we need out there is me looking like I'm in a boy band. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
Look, the main event group chat is a safe place. Nothing ever leaks out of there. We are good. We're good. All right, whatever.
Eli, I hate to break it to you, and I respect you, and I've known you for 10 years. I don't trust you with that one. I just don't.
Fingers are crossed. Okay, all right, set it to break. I'm ready.
All right, this is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob Rozycki. Yes, I did have frosted tips back in the day, and this is my punishment. But yes, we have Anthony Alford, Eli Moon up next. I guess we'll have to talk about LeBron a little bit. If not, we'll go into news and notes and figure out another way to keep this can kicking down the road. But yes, we got news and notes, what we've learned. We got the king still wandering around looking for a kingdom. We'll be right back here on the main event Inside Edge Net. I'm Rob. We got Double A. We got Eli. And we got you. We'll see you soon.
Key On Sports is the leader in Ohio high school athletic coverage in written, print, and video streaming. From the latest news and results and written content to the high school football game of the week every Friday, Key On Sports has you covered. The vision of 15-time published author Vince McKee has become the most trusted site in Ohio high school athletic news. From podcasts to player profiles, Key On Sports is your one stop for all of it. Visit them today at keyonsports.com or on YouTube at Key On Sports. Check out their socials on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code INSIDEEDGE10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code INSIDEEDGE20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick.
With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh.
I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. What's up, guys? Awesome show today on Unfiltered. Got into a bunch of different things, including this whole parasite outbreak now hitting Northeast Ohio pretty damn hard. Don't eat the lettuce at Taco Bell. Please don't do that. Also, talked about President Trump's remarks. We also talked about the ongoing situation involving North Burlington police. There's a lot that we got into here in the local news side of things. And we unveiled the meme of the week. AA looked great. Those are up on the Facebook page, Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. Check us out on Monday. The next picture for you to submit memes, we'll have that and all the different local breaking news. And over the weekend, did LeBron finally make up his mind? Who knows? We'll figure it out Monday, 5 p.m. right here on Unfiltered, all along the Inside Edge Network. I'll see you then.
This is one thing I can say with confidence. LeBron does not care about holding the league up with its schedule. He will make them wait until he is good and ready to make a decision.
You know what?
That was ESPN's Brian Windhurst just basically throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and hoping some of it sticks. This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. And I'm Rob. We got Anthony and Eli. Now we're in the second half of the show here. I guess we'll talk about LeBron. Yeah, we still don't know where he's at. We still don't know any timetable on this decision. He made sure to use all the attention to make sure that every eyeball was on him at Fanatics Fest on Thursday and Friday with no announcement, even though he had two chances to do so. Guys, where are we at with waiting for, admittedly, a great player, but a player to make up his mind? And it seems like we're not alone. The whole league literally is waiting for this to happen.
So I thought maybe LeBron was going to present the World Cup championship to Spain, and that's how he was. It would have
been a better choice than Trump.
I thought that was maybe the way he was going to announce it. Like, you know, he comes in, like the Scooby-Doo, the villain, you know, and he's like, boom, and he's like, I would have got away with the Two, if it wasn't for the World Cup being the same day I was going to announce my decision. You know, like, I don't know at this point anymore with them. I'm excited that, like, it seems like we may be closer to finding out than we were 19 days ago. But it just seems like, man, all the stake being put into this, right? Because it turned into, well, LeBron would be nice to add with, like, a Giannis or another star. And now it's like, unless I'm missing something here, the only star that's available is Draymond Green, who is a unrestricted free agent. Kyrie, I know there's been talks. Greg Schwartz, a Bleacher Report, floated out an idea where, and I think I had misquoted a few weeks ago, so my apology, but Dallas, sends Kyrie Irving over to Cleveland. James Harden would go to Miami. You know, Dallas gets other assets as well, in the deal. So I had misspoke, said Harden to Dallas. That's why I was trying to make sense of it. But still, regardless, that's out there. And then, of course, you have the Anthony Davis stuff. All this to be said, man, he better win a championship in his last run. If that's what it's got to be about now, right? Because if it was truly about being happy, you wouldn't sit back and view roster construction and watch every move and watch this. What exactly is being happy to LeBron James? I think that's been the biggest question we've had in terms of this run, because it came out, well, his wife, we want to make sure Savannah's happy, and that's understandable. Yeah, be a great husband. Yeah, do your thing. Like, okay, you want to win. Okay, that's understandable. You've been pretty dominant most of your career. But, like, what exactly is the driving force? Because at this point, to me, you've been waiting 19 days. You've seen almost all the moves transpire that are going to shake a roster. There might be one or two more surprises. So it's got to be about winning. So I guess, like, at this point, where do we temper our expectations with LeBron James, who every other year in his career, for the most part, he's been finals or bust? Is that the expectation we're now putting on a potential final season for LeBron James wherever he goes, whether it's in Cleveland, whether it's in Miami, Philadelphia, Golden State? Is it championship or bust? Because I feel like if he would have just made this decision when free agency immediately came through, okay, you know what? You wait a few days, the LeBron effect, now you make your decision. Okay, that's fine. You have taken free agency and the entire NBA schedule, the offseason, everything hostage. So if this doesn't amount to a championship, I think he's putting more of a damaging look on his legacy. I'm not saying he wouldn't be considered one of the best players of all time still, but all the hoopla, I think people, for the most part, are starting to finally get tired of it after 20-something years. He's a great player. He's phenomenal. I love what he does for Cleveland. But he's done this song and dance. Autumn Chisholm was talked about on the Daily Spiral, about she's gone through this. We've all gone through this multiple times, song and dance with LeBron James. I love him. I appreciate what he does for the city. But, man, make your decision, dude, because now it's at a point where if you don't win a championship with this guy on your roster, what exactly was being happy? I'm having a tough time with that.
Honestly, me personally, I'm less stressed about it than everybody else, just because, the teams need to figure out what's next, depending on what LeBron does. Obviously, the NBA needs to figure things out so they can make a television schedule this fall. TV partners want to know where LeBron's playing so they can make marketing plans, again, with the TV schedule. So as a fan, there's nothing else we could do. And then one quick thing, too, to monitor. Wherever he goes, let's say it's not here. Let's say it's somewhere else. Does he sign for a year or does he sign for 2 years? Because if he only signs for a year, and let's say Miami, we're doing this again next summer. We're going to do this again, and with the added option of potential retirement. But I heard multiple times at Fanatics Fest and different podcasts and stuff, he kept referencing 2. He kept saying 2 years. So I think no matter what, he sees 2 years in his career. But we got to be very careful after he makes this decision. Does he sign a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal with one organization, or
a 1-and-1?
A 1-and-1, right?
Well, he did that here for all of it. And I think, though, when it comes down, and again, we have no say in this. We have no kind of call in this. We're along for the ride. Right. And that's everybody. That's Brian Windhurst, that's Stephen A., all the way down to us. But I think there's a couple of factors to play. We talk legacy. First, I think Cleveland is about the only spot he can go to and not win a title and still have the legacy preserved. He won it here before. He has the history here. And I don't think anybody historically would look at him and frown on the idea of coming back home to finish your career. The other part of Cleveland in this mess, maybe other than Miami, But if it's Golden State, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Denver, Utah, where AA wants to send him if he takes too long, if it's any place besides Cleveland, legacy-wise, the carpetbagger idea just keeps on going. It is we're just going to jump on the bandwagon with the team that looks good, and that, like it or not, true or not, is going to shape LeBron's career and legacy to a point where he jumped onto a big three in Miami. He retooled it with a big three of his own in Cleveland and, was run, carte blanche over that organization. He went to LA and got what he wanted there on a super team, basically. Like, it seems like wherever he goes, like, if it's not Miami, Cleveland is about the only other spot where I don't think he would be seen as maybe not quite Kevin Durant, but one step lower.
Now, is there something to be said about winning titles at multiple cities? Not like if his fourth team is not Cleveland,
a retread.
Miami, yeah, like if he wins in Philadelphia, should us as fans acknowledge the fact that he went to another town and won a title?
I mean, you'll have that part of it. And I think that's what it'll turn into on the whole idea of not, the no title expectations, working here, but not anywhere else. He would have to win a title. He would have to be that guy wherever he went. The NBA, the Larry O'Brien trophy just followed him. Like, and that would have to be what happens.
And I'll be honest, and LeBron's a great player, and he's definitely, better than Shaquille O'Neal. That's saying a lot because Shaquille O'Neal's a great player. But I think he'd have like a Shaq feel on that Philadelphia team. That is, respectfully, that is Tyrese Maxey's team. That is Jaylen Brown's team, even to a degree. And he hasn't even played a single minute there yet. Joel Embiid, like, these are other guys that are there that have already established themselves in Philadelphia. And if we're trying to convince ourselves that Philadelphia fans, with all their track history, would be like, well, LeBron, we appreciate you so much in our city. Sure, maybe talked about the four-city thing, doubly. That's a very fair point. But I just think in the city he goes to, it matters too, because if you're looked at as like, okay, we just brought you in as essentially like the extra oomph to get it done, but we already had our guys we plan on building the future with, because that's where Philadelphia is at. Even if Joel Embiid never plays another second of basketball, which isn't likely, obviously he will, but you have Tyrese Maxey, who's sub 30. You have Jaylen Brown, who I believe is still sub 30, if I'm not mistaken. If not, he just turned 30. But you have guys that are still in their prime, going into their prime. Jaylen Brown's 29. He'll be 30 in October. So you have guys that you can really build around still. So I think that's the thing, too. You got to be careful with where you go, because now it's like if you were just having fun, you would have already signed with Golden State. Draymond opted out. I know the Porzingis opt-in kind of screwed things, him signing a new contract kind of screwed things up a little bit, but they'd find a way to make the money work to get both of them there if it was truly about being happy. But I think LeBron is just waiting until every last domino falls to go to where he's going.
Well, you bring up another point in there with the another aspect to this. You go to Philadelphia, you got Maxey and you got Embiid. You go to the Golden State, you got Stephen Dre. You go down to Miami, you got Bam, you got Giannis. You go to Denver, you got Jokic. You go to there's every other spot. It's somebody else's show. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is you throw in all these other cities. Golden State, is he the best? Would he be the best Warrior of all time? No, that's going to go to Steph Curry, maybe Klay Thompson, maybe Nate Thurman. If he goes down to Miami again, is he?
Honestly,
yeah. Well, yeah. If he goes down to Miami, you got Shaq, you got D Wade, you got all that history down there. You got Zoe, you got all that. Even though he already has a legacy there. And same thing with Philly. You got Dr. J. You got the history there. He's never going to be the best Sixer of all time. He is the best Cavalier of all time. And there's nothing he can do to come back in 2 years and change that legacy, no matter how bad it could look. He's still the best Cavalier of all time. He's the king of this castle. And all due respect to Donovan, we love Donovan. He's led this team admirably the last few years. Even he would probably take a back seat to what LeBron wants to do. And if he is the scoring option, if Donovan or James Harden would be the number one scoring options, is going to be because LeBron let it happen.
So my vibe in all this, I think Bron would like to come back here if the circumstances are right. Now, I had a gut feeling that he's going to Golden State I have weird vibes that Golden State is the team that he goes to. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really hope I'm wrong with that. But I have a weird feeling about this whole documentary thing, Draymond Green speaking highly of LeBron, and it feels to me like out of all the teams, the Golden State players are the only group of players that's actively seeking LeBron's services compared to
Miami.
In Miami. But I'm talking players. I'm not even talking about front offices and stuff. I'm talking about players. So that part scares me. Real quick, I got to address this part real quick. At the beginning of this segment, we played the Wendy clip from ESPN about LeBron doesn't care about time or anything like this. And I'm glad Rob's on with me because he knows where I'm going with this. Years ago at iHeart, LeBron's second go around, I remember vividly, like in the regular season, the post-game shows, Mike Snyder, the Cavs network, they would have a predetermined time, like 30 to 45 minutes, like, all right, we're going to end at this time, boom. And then we hand it back to, the local stations. In the playoffs, I'll never forget this because every game. We're going to stay on until LeBron talks to the media. Mm-hmm. And you know what that means. Rob, you remember this.
Yeah.
LeBron was always the last one to talk to the media, not by just because it was in the rundown. He took his time in the locker room. He took his time taking a shower.
There's stories about reporters waiting for him to talk in the locker room, and they would be standing there while he watched the last quarter of a game on the West Coast. And he would get off on basically making you wait on him. And that was kind of his power. That's his power play. That's what he likes. That's what he is right, dead on with Wendy said. Like, he is loving the fact that literally the entire NBA, at least on a TV schedule, they can't put a TV schedule out until they know where he's going to be at. They're literally holding this thing because of one dude. And I'm sure that is the best part about this whole, and is also too, you got schmucks like us talking about it on podcasts and on ESPN and on the radio and whatever, that he just loves the fact right now that his name is at the tip of everybody's tongue.
LeBron, and that's why I find this whole process very fascinating, and why I'm not really caught up on the timing of it, because we've seen this. I'm like, LeBron has never respected anybody's time.
No.
Unless it's like close friends and stuff. He has, and family.
But if it's media, if it's fans, if it's somebody who's beneath him and not on his level, yeah, he loves it.
I'm like, Eli, I'm not kidding, and Rob can co-sign on this. We have to switch up logs and stuff, and this is inside baseball. Logs are basically the commercials that we run and stuff.
So they're not the things in lakes that sometimes
not in the lakes. No, it's
okay.
The commercials that were supposed to air, and if they didn't air, we would have to sign off on something and say when it aired. Mm-hmm. We would expect for, let's say, a 8:00 playoff game, we would expect LeBron to talk at like 11:45.
Yeah, I mean
11:30, 11:45.
Not to pull the curtain back, I was in some of those locker rooms and in those press conferences waiting on LeBron James.
This man would talk till like 12:30.
Yeah, I mean,
and we
you guys
to stay on the air.
Yeah, and you guys were seeing it from a completely different side, in terms of like, man, when are we getting out of here for the evening? And I kind of had that same vibe in terms of at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse or whatever. I think at that time it was still Quicken Loans Arena for a moment when I was still there. I think it changed to Rocket Arena, whatever. But yeah, dude, I mean, there was a lot, and it's like, just seeing all of this, I just wonder, and I'm not saying I am necessarily tired of it. I have enjoyed some of the crumbs and everything sent our way to find the trail of where he goes. But at some point, we do have to question whether it's right or it's wrong. Does it start affecting like some of the legacy? Because when we talk about legacy, we don't just talk about on the court. We talk about, now we do to a degree, but we always talk about, well, this was the Mamba mentality when we talk about Kobe. This was the Jordan mentality. And it just seems like, and Rob kind of hammered it home earlier a little bit, the LeBron mentality is, if it's not, it can't be too hot, it can't be too cold, it has to be just right. and it has to be at the exact quarter, half hour, or half hour, a quarter on the hour, whatever, when I want it. And I guess it's just at some point, I'll be honest, and I know the generations our generation may not get tired of it. I get it, but I do talk to people around me in their 30s and 40s that are like, man, this was cool. Maybe my 20s when he was doing this the first or second time. This is now go around 4 of this.
Well, you got to remember when he was doing it in 2010, and then even with Cleveland 4 years later. This was a dude that putting him on your roster instantly put you in the NBA Finals.
Right.
Maybe not win the whole thing, but you were in it, no matter what. And that he isn't that guy anymore. He is.
Right.
He's a great piece on a championship team, but he's not the game changer that he was maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right. And that's my big thing, I guess. Like I only really have one more strong point on this, and then I guess like what I've, at least for tonight, what I've thought about for the Cavaliers, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe by prime time tomorrow at 10 o'clock when I'm smiling with my guy Chad Bryan and we're chopping it up, maybe I'll have a different take. I think the Cavs have played themselves this offseason. They have absolutely played themselves. You got more fascinated with LeBron watch than going out and actually pursuing other stars, whether it was being more aggressive in Giannis talks, whether it was being aggressive in Jaylen Brown talks, whether it was any other move, for goodness sake, that was out there. I am not saying LaMelo Ball on this team or Ja Morant, but you're telling me we didn't even put a feeler out for some of these guys that, barring a different situation, could, we talk about James Harden just needing a fresh situation. Who's to say a young LaMelo Ball or Ja Morant? And again, it may not be the fit, but we have not seen this team be aggressive on any person but one, LeBron James. That's not winning you a championship by himself. It's not.
You just said the word, though, fit. This team's locked in on their core 4, unless LeBron James walks through that door. But they're locked in on the core 4. So they're not going to – they have more – and Kobe Altman's whole sales pitch was the core 4. I do think it's inexcusable not to seriously consider that Giannis trade earlier in the year. I think that was blatantly inexcusable. And I don't want to hear about the injuries and things like that. What are you doing? But that's tough. Let me sit on that legacy. We're close to the end of the show. I know we got more stuff here. Let me sit on that legacy question with LeBron for a day, because my answer is going to take longer than 30 seconds. Let me sit on that.
Yeah, I think his no matter what, I think it's going to be his legacy. There's going to be has to be a footnote about like, hey, as great as he is just an absolute pain in the ass. I mean, really, when you get down to it, he's just.
Real quick, there's another community element to it too, that is in his favor. So, like, he has. I'm saying though, for like, if you're a coach, if you're a GM, if you're a teammate. He is a pain in the ass. Yep. That is true. I was just saying, again, just devil's advocate. I just think from a community standpoint, like close friends standpoint, I mean, LeBron is closer to people in the NBA than Michael Jordan. I'm trying to tap into what I'm trying to figure out what LeBron cares about, although he will toss in, oh, I want to be the GOAT or greatest of all time. I'm like, these are the reasons why you're not in that conversation. You could be in this conversation, but you're not in that conversation.
Yeah. I think the fourth stop, and then this is it, I got Rob, but I think the fourth stop's making it the messiest of all. Because if it would have just been, okay, you went to Cleveland, you did Miami, you came back to Cleveland, ended that, got your championship, and then, okay, you're in LA for the rest of your career. Okay, man, that's 3 teams. That's not really that crazy. Charles Barkley played on 3 teams. I know he didn't win a ring, but some of the greats played on multiple teams. It's not that crazy. But just the fourth go-around on this. That's all I got, Rob. I am tired of it a little bit. I can't lie. I am tired of this shit. I really am with this. I mean, we are almost in August, folks. I mean, is this dude waiting for every big event to pass till he announces it? I mean, we've had 4th of July. We've had, the World Cup final. We have Moon Bash this Saturday. Is he waiting till all the big events happen? Is that what he's waiting on? Back to you, Rob.
He's waiting on
at this rate. Yeah, who the hell knows? Whatever's going on with this one. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep you posted. I'm sure we'll be talking to you this time next week about still waiting for a decision. But this is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. If one does happen, check out the Inside Edge Net. We'll fire this puppy up no matter what time of day that is. But yes, while that's going on, some other stuff's been happening around the sporting world here this past week. I don't know if this is this week's. I think it might have been a beginning of this. No, I think it was a tail end of last week's story. We didn't hit it, me and Double A, but the WNBA was in the news again for all the wrong reasons. This time it was a scheduled interview with Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and Dan Patrick on the Dan Patrick Show. We all know, anybody who watches this kind of stuff and is invested in sports in any way knows the Dan Patrick Show is basically the show of record when it comes down to sports talk. Well, they had an interview scheduled to tape. After a show, she strung them along for a few hours, canceled at the last minute while she was on the course about 20 feet away. Dan Patrick obviously not happy with that. His producers not happy with that. They voiced their concerns. There was an interview they billed. There was an interview they publicized and it didn't happen. So they had to explain themselves. But they took you behind the curtain and said, yeah, this was not our fault. She no-showed us. And, the WNBA, again, looks a little unprofessional and a little mismanaged. While they're all trying to be considered a big boy league and having a seat at the adults table, they just keep acting like children.
Yeah, it's really, man. We talked about it last week or the week before because I wasn't here last week. We talked about it the week before. The WNBA just loves getting in their way, whether it is at times the players and not just kind of the complaining. I'm going to be very real with you, and that's not. It's really a complaining aspect on certain things. They want everybody to talk about the league, but then you can't say this about the league, and you got to put this respect on this and this. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't. Clearly, you should respect the WNBA and women athletes. I mean, that should be something I shouldn't have to utter in 2026. Yet here we are. But I think it's like the constant complaining and the lack of professionalism in terms of the league standpoint, not marketing their correct stars and the stars that really are shaping the league. I just think there's a lot of stuff going wrong with it right now. There are some highlights. I mean, Asia Wilson's been one of the better stars of the WNBA's history. The aces have been fun at times, but this is just a mess. And it makes sense that Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, would no-show an interview with one of the most legendary broadcasters of the last, 40, 50 years. I mean, if not longer. I mean, this guy gives her an opportunity to explain basically where the WNBA is at. He's going to put shine on her. Because if you've ever watched Dan Patrick, he's going to give you an opportunity to explain what you got going on good for your league and stuff before you get into the real meat and potatoes. And I think
Dan Patrick's not a got you journalist. No.
And I think Kathy Engelbert really just kind of highlighted what we talk about with the WNBA. They get in their own way with everything. I know we don't necessarily always talk about the players, but the players are accountable in this too. And I think it's just because of the constant, look at us league. Then we look at you, and now you don't like what we're talking about on the day-to-day. And I know there's some other stuff that goes into it, but if we're talking on the court, it just kind of gets old. And then you have it all the way up to the commissioner. So I just think this is kind of reflective of where the WNBA is in 2026.
Leadership with the WNBA is garbage. This is terrible because you have a great product. They just need better leadership. And they're going to point to they have, better TV deals Caitlin Clark's in the league and Angel Reese. Yeah. So that's why. Listen, we talk all three of us have booked shows for different reasons and different venues and stuff. We all understand what goes into booking shows. We all understand potential conflicts of booking shows and what happens if somebody has to reschedule. And in the case of Dan Patrick, we know with that show, a ton of big names is on that show every single day. And I use the example, I'm like, what happens if they book Mike Tirico? And Mike Tirico's scheduled for Monday at 10:45. And you get to Monday and Tirico, there's a coach's interview got moved up. He would let the producers know, he or his representatives, usually himself, let the producers know, hey, I got this going on. Can we either...
As long as the communication's there, yeah.
And all we ask as producers, as bookers and things like that is communication. The worst thing you can do is no call, no show. That is the absolute cardinal sin because, number one, My day as a producer is effing ruined because of your F-ups, because the first person that Dan's going to go to is his producer. It's like, hey, why is your guest not on the show today? What's going on?
How'd you fuck this up?
And again, nobody's going to stick up for the producers in public, but if you have record of, hey, this is what it is, this was booked, we were ready to go, yeah, Dan's going to stick up for his guys. And then the worst thing out of all this, on your set, 20 feet away, her ass is out there golfing. So, honestly, Dan Patrick didn't do enough.
Well, the other thing is,
I honestly think Dan Patrick was actually very nice about the situation and he should have went scorched earth on this woman.
well, and the thing is like this kind of shows too, in a way where the WNBA's at. Like if I'm a radio producer and, I got the commissioner of the NBA, I got LeBron James announcing his decision, like, a previous experience in a different show, I have booked the president of the United States. Like, whenever you got guests like that, Donald Trump on a right-wing talk show can no call, no show it as many times as he wants, and they're still going to, kiss his ass. Adam Silver, Gary Bettman, LeBron James, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, they can no call, no show you. And I've been there as a producer where you're behind the scenes, you're pissed as shit, but you still want that interview. You still, you don't want to burn that bridge, and you're willing, to just, all right, hey, we'll reschedule it for tomorrow, whatever. You're moving around it. With the WNBA, I mean, what Dan Patrick basically did in front of everybody was just say, fuck this bitch. Fuck this. We don't need to worry about this bridge on the Dan Patrick show. Like, they want to be on here. Like, I'll have her boss, Adam Silver, on next week. So that kind of showed where they were at with, kind of the PR perception of the league. And now I got SportsCenter on. They're talking about, how they had to suspend a coach because she ran her mouth about Angel Reese and made a pretty dumb comment. Yet another story that's out there that's more a political society story than what's actually happening on the court. I think people can tell you what, Caitlin Clark's getting, punched in the face every night. They can't tell you what team she's on, what the record is, where they're at in the standings, and where she's at as a player. Like, it's all is off-field, off-court bullshit. And if they want to be taken seriously, take their own product seriously.
And then they keep, the WNBA continues to go. The big complaint over the last couple of years has been, well, our league's doing a little bit better now in terms of, more attention towards it. Now we need more money. You know what happens when you work at any job or anything like that? They review anything and everything you've done, from performance to how you act in the office to whatever, wherever you're at. And they look at it and they go, you know what, you've done a good job. Here's a pay raise. Or maybe they don't, and then fuck that job. But, you look at it, and they're looking at it with the WNBA and going, here's the off the court, here's the on the court. When we view all of the stories that are coming out about our league, it's more so what somebody said in a press conference, or why somebody no-showed an interview, or why we're not marketing the biggest stars in the league. It's never, so why are we, and this is,
it's all process stories.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, women athletes deserve to get paid. But you also have to look at, if you're comparing yourself to other professional sports leagues, which is what the WNBA does when they say, well, look at what NBA players make and what these other players make. You have to handle yourself in a light where people are going to want to constantly tune into your product. The NBA wasn't dishing out Timofey Mozgov type of money before 2016 because they had to get themselves to a super reputable brand over many years of hard work to get to that point. And I think they deserve to get more than what they're getting paid right now. I do agree with that. But this constant, well, look at the NBA. But yes, you have a crazy story every now and then in the NBA, but we're talking about on the court. Even with this LeBron stuff, it's stuff that's going to affect on the court. We're not talking about, off the court LeBron stuff that's been going on for 3 weeks. This is something that's going to affect the basketball game.
Bam Adebayo punching out Tyler Hero. That would be. But sure. Again, you're right, though. The NBA has that multiple generations of an established brand to handle. First year of the NBA was 1948. First year of Major League Baseball was 1877, 76. Yeah. The NFL, 1920. NHL has been giving out the Stanley Cup for 100 years. This league and the WNBA just celebrated its 30th anniversary, and for the first 20 of them, it wasn't really taken seriously. So, yeah, I mean, and then plus two, the public perception on, hey, you're getting a lot of money because the superstar from college is now playing for the Indiana, and all that kind of stuff. The public perception is, okay, you got a meal ticket and you're beating the shit out of her every night. The players are beating the shit out of her. The referees don't care that it's happening. The coaches are kind of shrugging it off. It's just one of those things. It's the gang that can't shoot straight. It doesn't seem like they know how to run their shit effectively.
Well, she does have a LinkedIn page. So.
Oh, Kathy Engelbert?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. She has.
See if we can book her for next week.
Hey, we might. Hey,
Why you've been in the news for no-show interviews. You want to give us a chance? All right, yeah.
She has no recent posts, but she has her bio is on here. So.
What's her bio? Just WNBA commissioner?
Commissioner WNBA, July of 2019 to present. She is also a board member at McDonald's.
So she might be dealing with some shredded lettuce problems, too.
Maybe that's why she missed.
You know what? She might be a little busy.
But until they get their head out of their ass, I think it's going to be tough for them to be taken. And the other thing is too is what these women are going to have to realize is that they're not going to wake up tomorrow and have Kobe money. They're not going to wake up tomorrow and be the number one. Caitlin Clark, if this thing goes right, she's going to influence the next generation that could get paid like this. We're talking about stuff that moves very slowly. It took baseball, I think, 1980 was the first $1 million a year contract signed by, anybody know? Nolan Ryan. 3 year, it was like a 3 year, $4 million deal. And everyone thought baseball was going to hell in a handbasket because you're paying a guy seven figures. Like that was from 1870s to 1980. Now, grant you, the reserve clause was in there. Free agency didn't happen, but it took 100 years for that kind of money to really show up at their doorstep. The NFL, same kind of thing. The money wasn't there, the generation ago for these players in some cases. This stuff takes a long, long time to move, and they got to build fans up. They got to, we talked about it with soccer last week with AA, was like what the other countries have that we don't with soccer is the 98-year-old grandmother's taking the grandkid to the game, watching the game on TV. We need to have the WNBA long enough where, you got a 7-year-old girl wants to play basketball. She can talk to grandma about it. She can, there's a bonding thing there. We need to get it in the culture. And it just takes time for it. It's working. I mean, they're better now than they were 2 decades ago, but it's just, there's got to be some patience in here in 2026 where patience just does not exist.
I'll use a wrestling analogy real quick. It's the WNBA is growing, but you look at it and it's like they could be doing a lot better. And it's similar to AEW in pro wrestling. Is they have a great roster, they great talent. People are going to their shows, but you look and it's like, man, they could be doing a lot better than being a distant second to WWE. It's kind of the same deal with the W right now. It's like you have something good, but if you had excellent leadership, they could be that much better.
Like if you think about it, all the lore, and we know our history with sports. The NFL had Pete Rozelle. He brought the league in the 60s on TV, in color. He was the one that was presiding over it when they merged and put the Super Bowl in there. MLB had, good and bad, Kennesaw Mountain Landis back in the day with being the first commissioner and, the segregation we'll throw that in a second, in the corner for a second. But he cleaned up the game. He was seen as kind of the first big authority figure the first leader in Major League Baseball. The NBA, we could talk about David Stern and Larry O'Brien. All of these leagues that have come up and have broken through and have been around for 100 years, they've all had their founding fathers that you cannot do it without these people. And we haven't found that person for the WNBA yet. It's not Kathy Engelbert. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah. It's Yeah, it's not shocking. Everything we're talking about with the WNBA, you guys already hammered it. We've seen it though. It's just recent track history, even alone. And it goes further back. But I mean, AA and I, we've talked about here on Main Event about Diana Taurasi and how, yeah, I mean, you have your opinion about Diana Taurasi, but you didn't really even know she was a star. You had other players coming through the league that could have been
Girls
marketed
Swoop, Cynthia Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of names. I mean, even for a minute you had Maya Moore who was making a splash. They could have marketed her out of UConn. I mean,
Dawn Staley back in her day was a pit bull.
Yeah, and it's like,
oh, hell yeah.
But even recently, like, the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese stuff really ignited the WNBA. Like, created some sort of buzz where you had two people you just watched in the national spotlight and the national championship game. Okay, now we can follow their careers and have fun. And they've kind of botched this entirely. I mean, they've botched basically both of their names for better or for worse, and really for worse for both of them. The media and everything else, and they've had their own hand in it too, have botched their names. And so that's kind of turning into a failed experiment for the WNBA. And we'll see how they salvage trying to market their best player. But even, Rob, this one too, the Paige Beckers and Ozzie Fudd. I mean, the girlfriend situation, guys, where, okay, the number one pick was drafted to the same team as Paige Beckers, and it happens to be Paige Beckers' girlfriend. That, mind you, they won at UConn together. And now the first 10 questions to her is about how they're going to coexist. I just think it's an overall arcing thing. We talked about the commissioner. We talked about the players. It's the media. It's everything about the WNBA. It's just literally a WNBA fan's got to be sitting there like the everything is fine meme while the whole house is on fire. Like, it's just not. It's not. They botch every star-making opportunity.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can write the leadership out. I don't know how much Adam Silver is going to have to do and maybe retool this thing. And it's not like he has been beyond criticism either. So we'll see what happens with that. I do know in a couple of years, Cleveland will be getting a WNBA team. We've already done the math. If Juju Watkins stays 4 years at USC, Cleveland should have the number one pick for when she comes out of college. So who knows? We might have that going here. But, and again, if it's going to be a local thing, I'd like it to be compelling. I'd like it to be interesting, and I'd like it to be fun to watch. So hopefully they'll be able to iron that out over the next couple of years with this whole expansion and everything going on with that. And we haven't even got into, and that's probably for a later show, NBA now seriously talking about expanding to Europe. This is going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, the WNBA better get their shit together, or the NBA itself will have a new belle of the ball, will have a new apple of their eye. They'll be worried about Europe, maybe not so much the women's game. But yes, this is the main event here on the Inside Edge Net. I am Rob. We got Double A. We got Eli Moon. And what do we want to do? We want to hit one more story, or do we want to try to land this thing right now, or do we want to go to break? What do we want to do here? I'll take a
break. Oh,
what's up?
No, we will not be going to break.
Okay.
Oh, hell no.
I'll leave it in the hands of Double A. I'm gonna leave it up to him, Rob. You've posed a question. I defer. I won the toss. I defer. Double A.
What is the final topic? And then we can either pin it or what's the final topic?
I just saw it flash up here, actually, and there's a continuation of it. They were middle fingering each other at the World Cup final today. So was I right in seeing that Tom Brady slapped the shit out of Logan Paul?
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
and what we're getting Carl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson now doing a tag team match against Halliburton and who was the Danhausen? What, the boogeyman? Who?
Dude, it's Cathausen now. It's Cathausen. And he came out of the cloning machine. He is Rob, we've been waiting months on this. And I know Danhausen's a little sour subject here in Cleveland. I get it. But he has been working diligently, and I may be one of his last Cleveland supporters. And he's been working diligently here in the cloning machine, working on a tall monster. Thought it could have been Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin came back as Baron Corbin, so it's not him. So it can't be Corbin Hausen.
He would have been perfect because he has like the normal sized body, and he's the opposite of Cornell. He has like the smallest head of anybody I've seen over 6'10".
Dude, I just think like the Danhausen match. I obviously went to watch it over at Double A's yesterday. He mentioned at the beginning of the show. It was so entertaining. It was actually, for somebody that only watches the premium live events and the special events and whatever. That was one of my favorite, if not my favorite moment of the entire night. the fact that you had the mini housings, and then you had J.D. McDonough, which Double A actually brought this up. I will give him credit for this. I agree with him, though. J.D. McDonough is actually probably the best seller in WWE after Dolph Ziggler.
He might be the new generation Miz. Like, he might be the dude that you put into a match where, like, he's going to get his ass beaten. He's going to make whoever else look pristine.
Yeah.
Because the Miz has been doing that for 15 years now.
I mean, McDonough is definitely a good wrestler.
So Miz. I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I think McDonough could definitely have a longer career. But, man, just Danhausen, dude. Double A, you know how – that's my guy, Danhausen. And he went to the Rozycki. He was getting his ass whooped. His ass whooped. And he rolled out. They went to get the table. And you know what Danhausen did? He said, I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to the cloning machine. And he took the cat, the bird, or whatever, threw the cage in there. And then, boom, Cathausen. And the way they shot him, Double A, I'll hand it to you. But the way they shot Cat walking to the ring.
You would have thought, man, Diesel's back. Like, this is Diesel 2026. It's that classic. Pete's going to kill me because I don't. He knows the name of the shot. It's the shooting the camera from down low and you shoot up to make your object look bigger.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they've been doing, it's like, what do they call that? I think it's like Boris Karloff lighting, something along that line. Yeah, you can use, they used it with Andre big time back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they really emphasized it in like Cat, Big Daddy, cool Cat, just
he had the
walking
shades,
down there.
Dude. He had the
shades, and he did that. And I'll say this, look, the Knicks are annoying. I can't stand them. They whipped our asses. So, but they are getting the love because it's the first go around. It helped New York City. Tyrese Halliburton made a great appearance too. So we're finally seeing a Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton angle, which has a backstory from last year's Eastern Conference Finals when the Pacers knocked out the Knicks.
The way I look at the Knicks is like I like the team. The players on the team are great. Like they're fun to watch. They seem like good personalities. The owner and the fans annoy the piss out of me. That's where I'm at with the New York Knickerbockers. But I think and I'm watching it right now with Cat's appearance here. He's throwing some choke slams out.
Hell yeah, he was.
I think we're really seeing, you brought him up, Big Daddy Cool, how physically easy it was for Kevin Nash to be Big Daddy Cool Diesel the entire time, because you just got to know 4 moves and be tall.
Yeah.
That really looks like, and if Towns wants to do it as a post-career thing, this might be a door that's opening for him. Who knows?
Dude, and he did a lot better than Kevin Nash because he didn't tear any ACLs while he was in there, or meniscus, or anything like that. Cat got in there. Landed his choke slams and got out. And did you see he got in there like a wrestler, Double A?
Yeah,
he got in there like a wrestler.
Yeah, he did.
Could you imagine though, Leon Rose and the brass at the Knicks watching that happen, going, "You better not turn anything. You better not tweak a back muscle. Like you better not look at somebody the wrong way." I'm surprised they let him in the ring and have any contact whatsoever. I mean, we're talking about a $40 million athlete.
You mean like this guy?
I thought Cody Rhodes trying to kick a field goal was the worst thing to come out of Fanatics Fest. Wow. That was what, Cam Scadaboo, the lunk-headed running back of the New York Football Giants, coming off what, a bad leg injury, right?
That is correct.
He's like Peyton Hillis if Peyton Hillis played less time than Peyton Hillis did.
And if Peyton Hillis was dumber.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the fact that in that video, he points at his scar from his surgery, like, I did it. And then he flips and messes up the other leg. And now, granted, they said he's cool, is what I've heard.
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm with you.
If I was a Giants fan, if I worked in New York, matter of fact, when we do Around the Dial tomorrow, we'll pull some clips from WFAN. Because no.
Well, the thing is, too, I'm Harbaugh sitting in New York. He comes in for the first day of training camp. I don't want to hear anything about physical limitations. I don't want to hear anything about rehab. And if that leg is as good as you think, as you're claiming it is with that backflip you botched on national TV, then you can run on that leg the entire first day we're doing practice.
Why do I have
like, dude, I'm an NFL coach. Like, if he's not an up and coming big, he has some steam behind him. But the thing is, too, is like, okay, he's a running back that everybody likes. How many of those have there been every year? They are disposable. Like, they will move on from that if he gets too dumb real quick.
And they drop off like a cliff.
Yeah, again, Peyton Hill, let's talk about him. Yeah.
And poor Giants fans, and I know, they're New York, I get it, but poor Giants fans for a moment here. Every other day it seems like they have to watch Cam Scadaboo say something stupid or do something that almost hurts himself. They have to watch Jackson Dart put themselves in, however you want to view it, in my opinion, a stupid position by going up there and doing all the stuff with the president and all that. And then he's doing backflips off a boat and all this other I mean, like, dude, this is probably one of the worst off seasons to be a Giants fan. You're watching the two guys that are recovering from injuries literally do backflips, and what's next? Are they going snorkeling with sharks? I mean, what exactly else are they going to do
Keep
this
in mind,
offseason?
you just said that about the Giants and off-season bullshittery, and they had that picture of all those guys doing Addies and Coke and everything on the boat. Remember that which, by the way, they haven't won a playoff game since that photo was taken. So,
but these guys
this has just all
around.
been a massive shit show.
I agree, Rob, but these guys are moving around like they at least got there. At least that team got there and had some sort of regular season success. These guys are moving around like they already made it. Like Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo are here for the next decade. How many times have we seen? And granted, I think the Giants are still going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. That has not changed my perspective because I think as soon as they get back to camp, John Harbaugh is going to light these guys' asses on fire. He is going to let them know. He's going to have to. This is where we talked about what is that coaching going to look like for John Harbaugh in New York. We're going to get a really good example of it throughout training camp of how he really instills his type of coaching and leadership in New York like he did in Baltimore. But, man, dude, if I'm a Giants fan, I am staying off social media because it's just every freaking day with these guys.
Do the Giants have the Hard Knocks season this year?
Oh, my goodness.
Actually, they shouldn't because they have a new head coach. I think they're off the list. Who's doing Hard Knocks this year?
I'll find it here in 2 seconds. I am typing it up.
Seattle.
Oh, my God. There's no drama.
That show, Hard Knocks, is falling off a cliff.
The only drama.
The peak of that show was the season they did here.
Yes.
With the Browns.
Yes. I think they need to do Hard Knocks WNBA. I think that would be the key thing here, because the way we're talking about the Giants is exactly the same way we were talking about the entire WNBA.
Apparently, the show to watch, and I'm going to pop it in this week for this season, quarterbacks on Netflix. Baker Mayfield, Joe Flacco.
I'll be watching the ice stair race instead, but yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. But yes, what's up
about that.
Okay, yes, and actually, that's a pretty good transition. Double A. We are now at the phase of the show here, a scant 2 hours and 37 minutes in. What have we learned today, gentlemen?
Can I go first?
You sure can, buddy. Oh, I got it for you though. I see. I caught on. I got you.
So, the last 2.5 hours, I've been trying to figure out what the hell Rob's been watching. Off to the side.
This side here?
Yeah, that.
My computer.
I finally figured out what the hell this sport is. Eli, do we have footage of this sport? This is courtesy of the mothership ESPN.
Get that foot! Get that foot!
Yeah, remember, you cannot touch that red wall.
That's right.
Abby is right there, and she is an odds-on favorite to win this one, except for in pink. Take a look at Annabelle. Annabelle's got to stay off the red on the right side, otherwise Conrad, the ref, is going to have her come down, but in purple, Abby's going to win this thing.
So
she makes it look...
Yep.
Dude, did you hear the peril? Oh, this is yours, Double A. I'm sorry. The peril.
What the hell? I have that question, too.
I watched that for an hour.
All this winning. So... You're up
and
top.
They're now doing fantasy stock trading on the Ocho. I had to change it.
So you're up top. First of all, what are those people doing spraying these kids?
Oh, you missed it. for the second heats, they had dodgeballs they were throwing at them. You had adult human beings. That's why I said they're throwing balls at them. Like, you had adult human beings throwing these balls at children. And then they had because they had adult and kids races, and then broke down into male and female. They were getting ready for like the girls race, the little kids girls race, and they cut to like this 14-year-old boy in the stands, and he has this dodgeball, and you can tell mom is saying, you are not going to throw it as hard as you can. You are not. And like, this dude was getting ready to go, and he was going to put some carnage down and just put somebody out of their misery. Like, I mean, yeah, it's seriously guts plus roller derby.
What?
Double dare plus roller derby.
What in the crack baby sports is this? What?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the weirdest thing I've seen right now, and I'm looking at a picture right now of Mean Gene Okerlund in lederhosen. So it's been a kind of an odd day.
Double A said, what I learned this weekend is what Rob watched. What I haven't learned is what exactly it still is. That's the part 2. We'll go back to part 2, Double A, when you have the actual, the research.
It's an orthopedic surgeon's dream is what it is.
Sure is.
I'm doing research on this now. I am doing.
I hope this ends with you in a full bodysuit trying to climb up a big old staircase ice.
For research, can we play that clip one more time?
For
please?
research purpose. Yeah,
I need to see something here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get that butt.
Yeah, remember, you cannot touch that red wall. That's right. Abby is right there, and she is an odds-on favorite to win this one, except for in pink. Take a look at Annabelle. Annabelle's got to stay off the red on the right side, otherwise Conrad, the ref, is going to have her come down, but in purple, Abby's going to win this thing.
So she makes it look.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something with all due respect. If this sport wants to elevate itself, we need better camera angles.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're missing.
And also, too, I don't know if you realize this, Double A, and there's a couple people in there that break the rule. But demographically, did you notice crowd and combatants? It was basically a Coldplay concert. It was about as white can get.
Crazy,
it's like we have like the wet stare race, the caber toss, and the NHL. That's what we have.
This just reminds me of like Santa Claus in Christmas Story when he's like, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. He's like, ho, 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 kid, and kicked him down the steps. That's like what this is. This is like what this is.
So today, what I've learned is what the hell slippery stairs. And
you've learned that the Ocho is the gift that keeps on giving.
It's amazing. It's amazing. That's what I've learned.
All right. Rozycki, do you want me to go next?
No, I can kick this off. I realized it today when we were in Double A.
Bye-bye.
Had to kill a spider. I'm sorry.
It's so empowering to start talking and someone leave the shot.
Yeah.
But no, just kind of watching the final of the World Cup today, and with Nikki and everything like that. And I've learned, I think, the magic of the World Cup, and we talked about a little bit. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned the fans, and the fans are the story of the World Cup. They are the lifeblood of the game. They were the antiseptic that cured this infection that FIFA was trying to do with all the money and the sponsorships and the shadiness. The fans were definitely washed all of that crap away. But even more than that, and it kind of goes with anything. It goes with World Cup soccer. It goes with NFL football. It goes with that ice, the ice stair race that we were just put on the screen there. The great thing about sports is the communal aspect of it. We've all watched games by ourselves in apartments or, just, on our phone now, whatever. But I think we can all agree that watching a game with a group of people is better. And I think it's the reason why we do it in a lot of cases. Like watching those fans in a 0-0 World Cup draw, nobody looked comfortable. Everybody was on, just waited with bated breath and living and dying with every shot and save and cross and a bunch of other soccer words I don't know. But they were having a great old time with that. And you don't get that when you're watching it by yourself, in a quiet room and, with civilized people hanging out around you. You want that craziness. That's why we're here. Like some of my greatest memories as a fan, I remember the people around me more than I remember the moment itself. If I'm working at the bar, if I'm with you guys, if I'm at the stadium, whatever, it's just better. And, that's why they make their money. That's why they can get away with what they want to get away with, because, they know that whatever tomfoolery they're doing, but, executives or commissioners are doing behind the scenes, it all gets ignored once that ball drops, once that puck hits the ice, once that first pitch gets thrown, once that ball gets thrown in the air for the opening tip. It's an anesthetic. It cures any infection, any disease, any sort of controversy. It's because the fans are there, and it's because the fans are having a great old time. And quite honestly, I can't think of another experience in life that equals sitting in a big group of people watching either you guys at the 2016, watch parties for the Cavs and stuff back in the day. You're watching a game on TV, but you're doing it with 2,000 people, and it's awesome. That's what this is. That's why we're here. And the World Cup with fans from around the globe, from Scotland, from Korea, from Mexico, from, Cape Verde. We all learned where Cape Verde was on the map because all of a sudden these guys can play some ball here. Like just the intermixing of cultures and the intermixing of everything happening here. And the fact that we had this entire World Cup experience while current events are the way they are, while people who are not from this country are looked at differently than people who are. We had 6 weeks, we had 2 months of the World Cup, and it was nothing but a party. And yes, watching this stuff happen in a group of people while everything's going crazy, in a good way is fun. Watching it going crazy in a bad way gets real scary real quick, and it could have got bad. But the fans, like we always do, seems like the fans, if you want to take everybody in sports, they're probably as a group, the most well-behaved group of everybody. The players are getting arrested. The owners are stealing money. The fans are always showing up. So that's what I've learned is that, yes, as much as we need the game, we need our fans too, and we need our buddies, and we need the chance to sit here like we're doing on camera or not on camera and just talking sports and talking ball and living memories and that kind of thing throughout, life here. That's what this is about. And the fans, good job, guys.
This summer would have been a lot longer without the Men's World Cup. Yeah. It would have been a lot longer.
Oh, God. They were so nice to get the final done literally the week before training camp starts. Good job.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And I can't wait again for the Women's World Cup a year from now. So
we have a chance.
Yeah, hey, Papa Moon told me before the show, we're the favorites. We're the favorites.
Oh, yeah.
And think about this. Men's World Cup this year, Women's World Cup next summer, and then this go around 2 years from now, the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. So we're going to be 2029 might be the next long summer.
But then we get the new stadium.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. LeBron will decide that summer where he's going. So we'll have that to talk about.
we got the new stadium in Brook Park at that point, around about. So at least in Cleveland, I mean, come on. There's always something to talk about. No, I love it. Rozycki. That was very well put. I really enjoyed. That's twice in a show I've said that, so be very careful. That means next show me and you will probably go at odds ends. But no, very well put, and I think it's been really refreshing just seeing the different cultures and the different love for the game, the love for people, just the congregating. You mentioned it all pretty much very eloquently there, so I don't need to add, but yeah, just awesome. And it kind of segues into a little bit. Excuse me, words are hard. But it's gonna segue into what I learned this weekend. Now, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the network last week, I was off. You didn't see me on the shows. Autumn did a great job filling in on Inside Edge Primetime. I want to say thank you to her because she was a lot of fun. I got to watch, obviously, bits and portions of the show, kept up with the network. Just really, really cool to be able to kind of see everybody putting that work in. But I was obviously on vacation, took a little staycation and chilled out. And I did a lot of reflecting. Moon Bash is this Saturday coming up. So in 6 days. It'll be officially then the Moon Bash Day. And I've had a lot of time to think about the event and also think about why I'm doing what I do. And this won't be long. I'll try to not be long-winded. But I thought a lot about my dad's legacy. We talked about LeBron's legacy. I think that may be one of the words I've been thinking about a lot when it comes to a lot of different things. And my dad, Papa Moon, for the peeps out there, he just did another episode yesterday, Real Talk with Papa Moon. Brought in Christina Mills from Empower Her Cleveland, which is a great organization here, helping empower not only, adult women, but the next generation. And I thought it was so powerful. And just, I got to sit here now I've done 34 episodes of Real Talk. Oh, we lost Rozycki. Oh, no.
Hold on.
Oh, no. We lost him. Oh, no. I saw him tumbling. It was over. It was over. Hold on. We'll bring him down for a second. Hold on, Double A. We'll bring him back. We'll bring him back. We'll bring him back.
No,
he's back.
Slide.
He's back. He's back.
The whole operation just fell in front of my face.
I saw your face. I was like, oh no. But yeah. So I mean, I got to watch now 34 episodes of Real Talk with Papa Moon. When my dad, just a spoiler alert, when I watched my dad do all of this, he's never done any broadcasting, didn't go to broadcasting school, didn't do any, I mean, he's buying stuff to get this ready when the Inside Edge Network was created so that he can be properly prepared. And I think that's one of the things I've learned when I've been reflecting over the last week on vacation was, okay, I have 50-something artists on Saturday. I'll announce tonight. It'll be on social media tomorrow. We officially have day 2 of Moon Bash. So the second annual Moon Bash is a 2-day event, which I think is mind-boggling. I haven't really processed all of that. But what I have processed is legacy. And I think a lot of times, I don't think about it. And then I sit back. Somebody told me, a good friend of mine earlier this past week, told me, man, sit back and smell the flowers. Allow yourself to smell the roses. Walk around, and see some of the things that you've accomplished. And when I did that, I started looking into my dad and into my mom. They're two different human beings, obviously, but what they've always been driven on is community in different aspects. My dad is a community legend. I'm the second most favorite Moon when he walks in the door anywhere we go. He is somebody that is not only having, I hear on Saturdays, 5 o'clock on the Inside Edge Network, people sharing their stories, but ladies and gentlemen, that is happening off camera as well. I've seen it happen in real life. My dad has moved a ton of people in terms of just being a listening ear and building community. And my mom's done the same. My mom, I love her. She's more of the let's party and bring the community together. Just two different vibes. But man, Mama Moon is so integral in my life as well. And I guess long story short, what I learned this weekend is we're in a position now in our lives, wherever we may be. And I know we're all, we're all different ages, and whoever's watching at home, we're all in different ages and whatever. We're at a point now where start thinking about your legacy, whether it is just being a good family man or woman, whether it is, what you want to impact. Start thinking about that. Because I'm going to be honest, a few weeks ago, somebody said, are you excited? Moon Bash is a few weeks away. I said, buddy, if you could see my hair on fire right now, I'm working to just make sure this event goes, without a hitch. We do it and it works out well. And I have no doubts about that. But I think when you start thinking about why you're doing it, the legacy you want to leave, I think that's powerful. So what I learned this weekend is just, if you haven't recently, reflect on what you exactly want to leave for whoever it is that's here after you, whether it is your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, whoever it is. Start thinking about that. And so I got a good time to reflect on Moon Bash, reflect on everything I'm doing, and it reminded me the main reason why I do all this with the Inside Edge Network, with the collective, with everything, is for community. Because like Rob mentioned with the World Cup, not only from country to country, but right here in our own state, we can bring together community, bring people in the door, and that's what I strive to do. So, yeah, little long-winded, but I just started reflecting on I'm like, man, the two most important people in my life, and the main thing they did was make sure that other people got a safe place to smile, to laugh, to have a good vibe, to talk to somebody, and yeah, that's what I've learned is this is a very important weekend coming up. I'm very excited about it. And, yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got, fellas. I don't know. That's all I got.
Love it. I love it. And we have more announcements about that event coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Here on the network. I cannot wait. And it should be a fun time. Definitely. And yeah, that's a whole other deep conversation, about legacy and all that. And I should say all that, but that's a deep conversation. One last thing, folks. Download all your photos, make physical copies of your photos and stuff. Yeah. You don't want social media to wipe it out without a trace.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll come up next tomorrow night too, with social media not exactly being the greatest thing ever. But that being said, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Do we have a Snapface, all that kind of stuff too?
Twitch.
We're working
Twitch.
on it.
Twitch. Okay, cool.
You have
Cool.
a Twitch. Yes. Eli's right.
Yes.
All righty. Well, it has been a short 3 hours, everybody. It has been nice talking to you guys again every Sunday night here on the Inside Edge Network. I'm glad that we have a full crew tonight. Everybody's back from vacation. We have all scoured the planet now for the last couple of weeks, and we have all assembled here again, and we should be probably in a pretty good routine now up until really the beginning of football season. So yeah, that's just right around the corner. But for everybody here in studio, I'd like to thank you all for listening to us and spending 3 hours of your time with us. For Double A, for Eli Moon, for myself, Rob Rozycki, thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week.